Yo, good evening, people. Welcome back to Danny AFC TV. What's good in the hood? As you know, it's Thursday night, so that means Manny is in the building to accompany me through watching Arsenal finishing at last top of this group. Thankfully, saying goodbye, I'm afraid to say, to the Europa League group games because I do find them a touch yawny. And let's let the real business on Thursday nights and a little bit more excitement for me and Manny commence. Manny, we're going to be talking about a couple of things before. We're going to talk about the 8 teams that dropped out of the Champions League. What do you think? Who's the biggest threats? We'll try and do it from top to bottom. Who's the biggest threats from Salzburg, Seville? You know what we're talking about. Team news, of course. I'm going to let Manny take over for that because, as always, he's crazily, absolutely prepared. So, Manny, if you want to do a bit of team news for me, brother.
Will do, definitely. And thank you once again for having me with you. Thursday nights are always fun in your company. And
Wonderful.
I make it clear to everyone else that Thursday nights are Danny and Manny nights. So this is the team news we've got going on. And of course, we just have to bring Eddie Nketiah into the picture. Although surprisingly, instead of playing the centre forward role, he has moved over to the left to accommodate Gabriel Jesus, who will be captaining the side today.
I wouldn't, sorry, no, interruption, man. I wouldn't be surprised if these two interchange most of the night. If Nketiah starts off bad, you'll catch Jesus going out to the left, Nketiah in the centre. In fact, don't be surprised if Nketiah doesn't start in the centre. I'm saying these things are never 100%.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest Vieira is probably the number 10 tonight, but I'm not sure considering the rest of the lineup. I was going to suggest Vieira as number 10, but I think it would be more of a flat 3. But carry on, Manny, man. Go to
It does look like a flat 3 to me. And what you said about Jesus and Nketiah interchanging, I think that would make some sense. And Nelson obviously had to start given that flash in the pan performance against Forest. He'll want to prove that it was not a flash in the pan. Midfield looks interesting. We do have Mohamed El Neni coming back. He comes into the centre where Thomas Partey would normally play. And we have Sambi and Conga being shunted to the left. A rather interesting move. I would assume that I'm not too sure that he will provide that much in terms of width, but then neither will Fabio Vieira. So it might be more of a compact midfield. The only reason why Vieira won't be seen as much of a replacement for Bukayo Saka is because he doesn't really do that much in terms of providing width the way Bukayo Saka does. And now going to the defence, 2 regulars and Gabriel and Ben White, so no place in the starting lineup for either Tomiyasu or Cedric Suarez. And Gabriel still finds a place in the team. I've been calling for him to be given a rest completely, not even brought off the bench, but Arteta obviously sees something in him that maybe even other people don't.
We actually haven't got another left-footed centre-back, and he is a massive enthusiast of this left-footed right-back, which really does throw me about Arteta when he will just fling Tommy at left-back, etc., start flinging 50 million centre-backs at right-back. He doesn't like to seem to cross-contaminate. Like Ben White, when he played last season, was strictly on the right, Gabriel on the left. And it's going to be the same sort of pattern this season. And for Gabriel to be not dropped, I think if Tierney was balling a bit better, he could have been maybe a slight option for left centre-back. But at this moment in time, with no Evan Ndicka or no trust in the process of Austin at Birmingham City, I believe he doesn't trust anyone else at left centre-back, bro. So I think it's a thing of, thank God El Neni's back, because it would have been exactly a party in the midfield tonight, because he doesn't trust no one else, but he does trust El Neni.
I suppose you have a point, but then having said that, if we're so confident of being able to get a result against Zurich, then surely it would make a little bit more sense to, have a centre-back who is at least in better form. Because I take your point saying that you want a left-footed centre-back, and obviously Arteta wants that too. But what is the guarantee that Gabriel won't make another mistake tonight, which could end up, putting us in, a spot of bother? But, it is what it is. If Gabriel has to start, I'm also a little bit worried about, Rob Holding, but I suppose he has to have his minutes. And then, of course, with no Matt Turner, Ramsdale is in goal. And you've seen the bench for what it is. And Zurich are also going to be putting up a 4-3-3. Of course, this is BBC, so this could be very outdated. Obviously, these are the names on the team sheet. Several of them have played and scored in the Europa League already. The goalkeeper, Brescia, of course, is still the undisputed starter, and he captains the side tonight. And then these are the subs. Now, the reason why I'm happy to at least keep talking about this is because like us, they also when we played against them in Switzerland, they adopted a 4-2-3-1 formation over here, and you could see how they were able to, overcome us because when Tierney and Marquinhos were effectively, wing backs, we sort of looked a little bit, I don't know, a little bit unkempt in a way. And Marquinhos did score a really good goal for us, but we also struggled in many ways, and that, of course, was interrupted. In the second half due to circumstances which we all know quite well. But this was, of course, Matt Turner's debut. He didn't really have that much of a bad game. I mean, people probably thought that he couldn't really command the area well, but from what I saw, he certainly didn't put much of a foot wrong.
Have you seen?
And then, of course,
Yes, hold on. Sorry, mate. You know I love jumping in. Brad Friedel. Have you seen him speaking about Matt Turner over the last couple of days?
yeah, you mentioned that in the video, and
Yeah.
listen, Friedel can say whatever the heck he likes. Never mind the fact that he's ex-Tottenham. He's been retired from the game for a long time. I think the fact that he's played for so long means that he's suffering from perennial aches and pains and is talking out of his backside. Look, Turner's just joined. His place in the squad is already secure, and as I told you, the other goalkeepers, Zach Steffen and Ethan Horvath, aren't exactly pulling up trees. Brad Guzan is no longer in the picture. He's too old. Turner's going to be fine. He was their number one when they won the Gold Cup. His place shouldn't be under threat. I just hope he's able to get fit again. Then, of course, when
I'm not sure
Zurich...
you were saying the World Cup being Arsenal's number 2. I'm going to very quickly get into a couple of comments. Hanyumi, genius, thanks for joining. Linda was good. And first question is from Hanyumi. What do you think of Sami's positioning today? I think he'll have a good game further up the pitch. I wouldn't be so surprised if he's going to be more disciplined, first of all, Hanyumi, because Vieira's in the midfield. And if anyone's going to go further forward, for me, it's going to be Pablo. Manny, what do you think?
Could be the case, and of course, like you, I'm quite like Hanchumi. I'm interested to see, how Lokonga will play. Maybe, as you said, if he's further up the field, just like Granit Xhaka, he will, enjoy his positioning over there. My only issue is, of course, as you said, if Fabio Vieira is going to occupy the number 10, he will have to impose himself on the game very early on because
there's no way. I don't think he's going roaming tonight. I think he should be given that chance one of these games. Perhaps. I don't know. Thank God Elneny's back. He doesn't really trust no one else. Obviously, no 15-year-olds, no Enwaris, etc. But yeah, we're lacking. I didn't. Well, last night on the stream, I clearly asked for Partey and Xhaka not to play. I'm just feeling as a motherfucker. One of them's due a bad injury, and you know what I mean. It's usually the latter, as in Thomas Partey. So yeah, not totally into that. But bigging up Hank Yumi. Hopefully, Sammy, perhaps without being put in too much of a finer point on it, Hank Yumi, he's playing for his future, bros. The rumours are already rife that he's going Italy. There's going to be none of this 25 mil either. If we collect 17.5, anything like we paid for Sammy Lokonga, bros, we're probably doing well. If it's a January deal, I'm wondering if Arsenal are going to be playing Tierney. I know we've got to because of obviously, you can't play all of your first team players with all respect. But I mean, Tierney, I'm deeply wondering now if he was to turn in a couple of good performances before January. Lokonga, if he was to put in a couple of good performances before January. Rumours we ain't really got a lot to spend. Obviously, talking on last night's show, I'm hearing more and more the two players that we're going to sign is Danilo and Facundo Torres in January. That really does not excite me. That there, for me, without being negative or anything, because it has been a wonderful start to the season, apart from Man United, I suppose. We'll see how we fare after Chelsea away. But my massive worry is, and Lee Akers has just jumped in. I need to phone you after, Lee, by the way, straight after this stream. But anyway, my biggest worry is going to be we're going for fourth place, Manny, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah. We're dealing with two key positions that we need. Centre mid, if Danilo comes in, wonderful, well and good. And we're dealing with left wing, obviously, or both wings for a bit of competition for Martinelli and Saka. Well and good. Are these the guys? What I'm saying is, if you was, and I know in financial times and it's a bit unrealistic and you can't do it, all I'm saying is, like, there's the old saying, you got to speculate to accumulate, yeah? And I reckon if Arsenal had a Rice and Mudryk after January, we're straight going for first place, number 1, trying to win the league, no fucking around. Going forward with Facundo Torres and Danilo from January, I reckon we're just trying to stab in fourth. We shall not win the league. There will be zero chances of that now on the strength of the £27.5 million double deal for Danilo and Facundo. But yeah, if we get fourth, congratulations, well done. And let's just hope for another decent summer, I suppose, like the last two. The last two we've invested decently, about 140, Manny. I don't know if you see the stream the other day. We're all rebuilding our Arsenal. We're selling every motherfucker. Oh, you was there, wasn't you? We're selling everyone we could, from Holdings to Pepe's to Maitland Miles to who else got it? Who else got sold? Tierney got sold, if you remember. Emil Smith Rowe, sold by me.
Yep.
So basically,
And I
I just
remember,
said,
and
in
I remember
theory, though,
saying, and,
easily.
and I
Go
And
on.
I remember saying that my biggest concern is that obviously with your eagerness to sell everyone, that is of course admirable. The only problem is if with ESR, of course, as you know, he has been out for quite some time. He will need to possibly put in some decent performances until the end of the season for his
Hence
value to go
Europa,
up
bro.
again.
Hence
And
Europa League. Hence Tierney. Hence Lakonga. Smith Rowe will be there soon. Don't you worry. Putting in the Thursday nights with me and you, bros. Don't worry. Putting
yeah,
himself in that
looking
window.
forward to that.
Don't
Looking
you
forward
worry,
to that.
G. He'll
Looking
be
forward
putting
to that.
himself on that Thursday night sheet soon. If we can get
Looking
better
forward
players,
to that.
then hold on. If we can get better players than him, then sell him. Well, bro, Tillerman's
Yeah.
won't happen just yet. He's going to stay most definitely and see all of the. Let's get rid of this money. And
Yeah.
see all of the offers that come into him in January. Similar to him, I reckon Trossard will leave it to the very last minute. He's 27, Trossard, so I'm not saying it's going to be his last move, but on a free transfer, he's at a perfect age to command decent money, Premier League footballer. So he'll wait, in my opinion, to the last moment. If you're looking for people with 6 months on their contract and people that probably would love to come to Arsenal, I think you've got to more go down South London and start talking again to Wilfred Zaha, a lifelong Arsenal fan, kid supporting Arsenal, father supports Arsenal, season ticket holders and all the rest. I think you're easier going down to Palace and talking to Patrick Vieira and seeing if there's anything he can do for us regarding Wilfred Zaha, because I have no faith in this Facundo dude. Manny,
Yeah,
you look. I love it.
I get what you're saying. And listen, the team's already out on the field right now. They've just come out onto
Ooh,
the stadium. Zurich obviously resplendent in their black
there's
trim.
me still listening. Well, I'm not listening, but I'm still listening to how bad Savage was tonight. I was, as I said to you, sorry, I was
Yeah, I get that. I
really
get that. I
watching
get that.
Milankovic Savic, and he had a pretty diabolical 90 minutes in a 1-0 defeat. So all the Arsenal fans screaming, Kovic, £70 million, he's the game changer. On tonight's evidence at the mighty final, guys, he was not the flipping game changer. Robson, there is a name I have not seen for a moment and a day in eternity. Jesus Christ, and there comes Callum. Good day, Daniel. A better day to you, Robson. How's you? How's the missus? Bigging up, Callum. What's going on? Hello, love you. Here we go. Let's just have a quick catch up here. You tried bashing down Danny's door recently. No, Danny's moved, bruvs. I live in the country. I've turned into a right little country lad, just like yourself, bruvs. Seriously, I'm probably right near you. I'm probably right near you, Luton, you know. What's this little prick talking about on my WhatsApp? I'm not sold on Zaha. I think we can do better. Do you think Facundo Torres is better? Just saying. We're watching in the pub. Absolutely fantastic news. Get everyone in the pub to subscribe. Show them my beautiful face. Tell them I've got Manny with me. Sorry, I have not even got on the game yet, guys. Preparation, eh? I have not even got on the game, so I'm just flying over to the BT. Bang, 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 bang. I think we're on number 2.
Right.
Are we?
So yeah. So so Jesus and Brescia in the middle right now, just about to exchange their pennants. And here are the referees. Belgium tonight with Lambrecht in the middle and De Weert and Van Isère in on the side. And there will be a Dutch and an Italian who will be manning the VAR.
Just saying to you, BT reckon, bruvs, we're going Nelson left wing, Vieira right wing, Sammy Elneny in the centre, and it's Nketiah and Jesus up front. Not sure if I'm right either.
Yeah.
But that's what BT said. And where are we? Robson. The number hasn't changed, bruvs. The number's still the same, just location. The number is still the same, man.
Yeah, and the Zurich lineup is as is 4-3-3. Brescia in goal, Boranisevic on at right back, Aliti left back, Katic and Cambria the two centre backs, and I will. Oops, my bad. I'll get to that right now. Yeah, it looks as though this BBC lineup has now been proved to be a little bit outdated. Boranisevic is now. But don't worry. Listen, I got this. Boranisevic is now at right back, and we've got Rona, Okita, and Tosin, who will be the flat three, and Silnes, Conde, and Guerrero will be in the middle of the park. So,
None
you
of us
know,
are sure, brother. As soon as the minute or two kicks off, we'll know if it's going to be. Sorry, I'm more talking
yeah,
Arsenal. It's going to be
yeah, they
Nelson.
just kicked off. They just kicked off right now where I am, and it's a pass back to the goalkeeper who sends it long, and that is, of course, headed away for a throw in. So, it, yeah, it will be interesting to see how the front three looks for Arsenal, and it could very well be a front three. We could see Jesus and Ketia interchanging. You're right. Still some action. It's with Gabriel right now. He passes it to his centre back partner, Holding, and it's now with Ben White, who's trying to navigate his way around. A nice centre pass, but Nelson was tackled, sort of manhandled in a way, which explains the free kick. And now Jesus is running on his own. And
WB reckons Nketiah will score. I'm trying to work out where everyone's playing. Um,
yeah, has it kicked off for you, mate?
4-4-2 here, bro. It actually really could be a 4-4-2. See you soon, mate. Off to watch the game. No problem, brother. See you soon, Robson. Good seeing you, Danny. Always on point, mate. Thank you so much, Chris. Where have you been all my life and all these months, Chris? Make sure you're still
Yeah.
subscribed. A massive like on the video for me, as you do. Lovely to see you. Obviously, it's Arsenal Zurich. I've got Manny with me. I think Manny's a couple of seconds ahead of me as well. Go on, then, get this fucking.
Yeah. Just tell me where you are because I'm on 1 minute 24, 25, 26.
120. So I'm ever so slightly behind you.
Ever so slightly. That's perfect. So it will be back to commentary now with an Arsenal throw-in taken by Kieran Tierney. It was with Jesus, and Tierney's able to whip a cross in. No one on the end of that, and the Swiss defenders can clear only as far as Ben White, though, who has come up. And now some work being done over there. I believe Holding was sort of muscled off the ball, and that will be a Zurich throw-in. So it's interesting to see how well Ben White has indeed played at left back, and he starts to overlap certainly a lot more. And there is some talk about him possibly finding a way into Southgate's England squad. I really don't think it'll happen because there are several better centre backs than him. Several better centre backs than him. Connor Cody of Everton is worth a good shout. He should definitely be in the squad. And then with regard to right backs, even if Reece James is out injured, Alexander-Arnold will find a way in by hook or crook. And the ball has now, from the throw-in, gone somehow back to Ramsdale. And at the moment, you could say he's just sort of surveying everything with the ball in his hand.
So
Can't take too long. Yeah?
So hold on. Is our American number 2 injured, by the way? He obviously is, yeah? What's he done to himself?
No, he had a tight groin, which is why he couldn't play against PSV. I mean, he couldn't play against PSV, so Ramsdale made his European debut. And of course, it might be an auspicious.
Honestly, I was at the game. Obviously, I thought it was the sort of importance for the game for Arteta, PSV being the best team in the group, and that. I thought it was that kind of nonsense. But there you go.
Not really, no, because I think there's a policy that the second goalkeeper will play in the group games, yeah? And when it comes to the knockout games, it might be the first choice keeper. I seriously hope that doesn't happen. I've liked what I've seen of Matt Turner, and I think once Arsenal seal their qualification, he should definitely be given the chance to play and make sure that he proves himself.
Theoretically speaking, and I do love your opinion, but then Arsenal draw Juventus. It's just, and I don't think it's possible. I was looking at the way the draw goes. Have you been looking at this? I don't think it's possible. We can play many of the teams that drop out straight away. I'm not sure why that is. Actually, I'm probably talking bollocks. Someone else has told me this. We can't play Juve, and you know what? The guy's really unreliable. So bollocks. Sorry, WB. I just remembered it was you that told me, so now I just instantly don't believe it. What if we get Juventus then pretty much immediately as soon as them boys fall? Well, they're falling out already, Manny. And do you still play Turner? Like, would you go Cedric Suarez at right back, even though Arteta hasn't tonight?
I will get to that. And of course, obviously, a lot will hinge on how we do tonight. If we win and secure our position as group winners, we get a bye into the last 16. We don't have to worry about playing them in a playoff. The only time we should be worried would be when we possibly have to face the draw, and then we'll learn which team we play. So, I mean, I would like to see Matt Turner get more opportunities. It is very unfortunate that he had to miss these last two games. But
FA
I
Cup's
think
coming as
sadly,
well,
I think,
man.
I think, I think, I think sadly, you may be right in the given the prestigious nature of the game. There's no
Listen,
way
League
that
Cup, listen. You're
Arteta.
very much going to get minutes, brother. We've got the FA Cup starting around January as usual, and
Yeah.
wherever we're at in the League Cup, we'll jump into that soon. Third round. I don't know. Are we at the third round stage, League Cup? I don't care about these competitions until it gets to the later stages.
Yeah, and of course we will be playing next week on a Wednesday. I believe we've got Brighton, Munich, if you will, as they're being called now. So if Turner isn't fit, I would expect that Peter Hain will play, and he will of course be an improvement
No
on
way.
Runason.
Arteta doesn't do this, bros. I wouldn't mind seeing this Kane. I don't know why. Keep hearing things about him, like he could be secretly trapped the Martinez Mark II. Do you know what I mean? The guy that's been there for years but never got bollocks all of a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true, and of
He has
course,
been at the club, flipping
in that
donkeys before that.
in that respect, Emi Martinez was also at Arsenal for several years. He never really got too much of a
Oh, Emmy
chance
was at the club
until
for 10 years. Emmy
he
was at the club
was.
for 10 years
Yeah, he
before he got
was.
like,
He was
listen,
obviously.
man, people
Yeah,
get testimonials after 10 years. This geezer got like 10 games.
yeah. So he obviously, had to get loaned out, and then eventually he got his chance when Leno got injured, and then of course he led us to the FA Cup, and then moved on to bigger and better things with Argentina, obviously. And now Zurich have a corner, so a potentially nervy moment for the Arsenal right now. The number 8, Selnes is taking it. Yep, Ole
Craig is in
Selnes
the building.
right there.
Craig is in the building. He says Jesus needs to score. Do you know what? This is another reason. Well done, Craig, for noting that. This is another reason why I would have left Jesus on the bench tonight. Do you know what I mean? He's been a bit rubbish recently.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and obviously, well, I mean, he's trying to get into positions, and obviously against Forest, he missed what should have normally have been a sitter, but ended up not really materializing. So, um, I mean, he all he had to do was get himself to a position, just tap it in, and he couldn't even do that. He might be suffering from a crisis of confidence, and if I were Arteta, I'd tell him, Gabby, listen, you've been good for us so far. I know your potential. I'm glad you're with me. Just relax. You know how to score goals. I mean, of course, technically he doesn't quite know how to score goals. Otherwise, he'd be more
He is
prolific.
coming
But
awfully deep. The more I notice when a striker does this coming deep, that's usually for me when a striker's having a touch of a confidence crisis, should we say? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
I get that. I get that. And also, it doesn't help if you're being switched around in positions. That's obviously what happened with Aubameyang when Arteta thought it wise to play him as a left wing back. And
Sorry, man. And Ketty
yeah,
is definitely left wing. Nelson's definitely right, and Jesus through the centre. Though we can confirm that so far, guys. And Vieira has
that's
plotted,
perfect.
and Vieira has
That
plotted in the midfield.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. So there's not going to be any, shuffling around of positions there. And by the way, I want to thank you for sharing that promotional video on Twitter. That was absolute class.
Yeah, oh no, gosh, yeah, oh, mate, how cheeky was that, man? Seriously, do you know what? He's sort of telling
Yeah,
the truth, though. As much as the video is annoying, it's like, listen, it's nothing personal. And I know the guy just didn't want to be in Spain. He come to London. He found a place where he could have all his cars and his lifestyle, live that London lifestyle with to a certain degree, where what I mean, without crossing the line. Even though allegedly he crossed the line, but that was more family reasons. Not getting into that at all. What I'm saying is, like when he was holding up the Barca shirt and his little presentation, if you looked at his face, he actually looked depressed. He did not look like he wanted to be there. Not even at the great Barcelona. He looked like he had no fucking like what's going on. I'm on the verge of retirement here, like, and I think as soon as Chelsea come calling, it was London again. So it literally could have been West Ham, bruv. I think he would have run to anyone that's half decent in the Premier League, honestly, in a London
but
club.
why would he want to go to another London club which wouldn't offer him Champions League football? With Chelsea, it was a no-brainer, you see. So he wouldn't do a Willian and go all the way to Fulham. There's no way he would find any room at West Ham. David Moyes wasn't interested in him, but Tuchel wanted him. Tuchel wanted to work with him. He wanted to work with Tuchel.
Yeah,
Sadly, Bowley said, "Sorry, I'm going to split this partnership up." I think Potter seems to have gotten something out of him. And yes, he didn't score against Zagreb, but he did hit the post and certainly got into positions. He did have a fine assist for the Sterling goal. So listen, he contributes too. He's not just, the number 9, the finisher who scores goals and does sweet FALs. You know what I mean? he actually gets involved in the game, and I think Potter has found a way to, get him more
include him
involved.
in the game. Yeah, include him in the
Yeah,
game.
so
Potter's a
he
really
does.
good player.
Yeah, so he does get subbed off after about 60 or 70 minutes, but by that time, more often than not, he's made his contribution. And with Aubameyang, you get more hits than misses. So
One sec,
anyway,
man.
listen.
One sec. Shouts out to Kamala. Long time no speak, my brother. If El Neni was a horse, he'd be put down. But I don't begrudge El Neni his wages or his place in this current Arsenal team, bro. For me, he's better than Sammy. And you've got to give Xhaka or Party, man. It's either Xhaka does one of his silly moments and kicks someone in the chest and misses 3 vital games, or Party has a calamitous injury. Bruvs, we need to share the load. And El Nini, I'm absolutely delighted he's back. I can't lie, Lee. Man United will hold on. Man United win, but fall to the top of the group, and now.
I mentioned this before we went on now. I just saw the last few seconds. So obviously United huffed and puffed, but couldn't quite blow the house down. We just missed a corner, and there was very nearly a goal-scoring opportunity, but thankfully the linesman's flag went up. The bloke was way offside. He was never going to score from that.
Sorry, a bit off topic, but Ramsdale's grey kit absolutely looks fantastic. I have to say, grey hat, grey bandana, you're absolutely laughing. Short sleeve as well. I quite like that grey kit. That is really nice.
Wait, grey bandana? People. There's no bandana he's wearing. He's all grey. He's all in grey.
Good evening to Cam. How are you? Good evening to Cam. To Linda, to Hanyumi, to Hazard, to, I know Chris was up in the building, Liakers, Kamala, Chris, Robson, Callum. Some of the very old school regulars. That's funny. Have they come in to say hello to Manny? Some people that haven't been on the stream in months. But shout out to you all. Please get the likes on the video. Do be subscribing. If anyone happens to be new, you've got me and Manny for at least the next hour and a half or probably more, guys. So
2 hours. You know it's 2 hours, and maybe we'll talk
always. But please, guys, get the sensible comments in, and let's be having it. And come on, you gunners. But Cam is in the building. Where is everyone? Rodney is now up in the place. Shouts out to us all again, guys. Please hit the likes on the video. 0-0, 12 minutes, man. Let's have a quick.
From now on, don't call him Rodney. He's the plonker, yeah? I mean, he might say something to completely cheese you off. It might not be worth it. Don't give heed to him.
Rodney's a good lad. What are we talking about?
Sure. All right. I trust your judgment.
Yeah, Rodney's a good lad.
Now Arsenal are breaking. I believe it's Vieira coming down the right, but they so. Yeah, the biggest issue I had with the midfield coming into this was that we might look a little bit, light in a way.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I know I'm ever so slightly behind you, but for fuck's sakes. Sorry, that's a bit annoying, man. You're in free flow somewhere else, and I've just seen Vieira lose the ball like a dickhead after a decent run.
Yeah.
Like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but that segues into what I was going to say, Danny, because look, I was a bit worried coming into this game what the midfield would be, because obviously we're going to have the 4-3-3. Nketiah cannot play in any other formation. We all know that now. And, the midfield that we would have had, probably with Sambi and Vieira and maybe Odegaard if he had started, it would have looked very light. So at least with El Neni in the centre, you get some.
Yeah,
you get that physicality, you get that solidity, and at least it provides Vieira and Sambi now some room to possibly do their thing. And as I speak, Arsenal now have a corner, so maybe we'll make the most of this one. 13 minutes and
13-22. Where are you?
13:33 right now. So I'm about 7 or 8 seconds ahead of you. So it's all good. And this is great. I mean, if it were at least a minute, I'd be worried. But 8 seconds is peanuts, yeah? And Vieira takes the corner along the ground. Jesus has an opportunity, but the defense holds firm. And it goes out for a goal kick. So some pretty solid defending right now from Zurich. I think they sense an opportunity to try and... I don't know if they're certainly not going to win, but if they can hit Arsenal on the counter, who knows? And then... marginally offside there, the number 19. No, it's all good. I want to check as well the results going on elsewhere. Goalless in Norway between Glimt and Eindhoven. So far, so good.
Cool. Anywhere else? Anywhere else? Anything going on across the world? Let me have a quick check as well. Actually, yeah, go on, carry on, man. You're good.
Yeah. So, some interesting results. Monaco thrashing Red Star Belgrade 4-1. Nantes beating Olympiacos 2-0. Olympiacos have had a tournament to forget. No Conference League for them. Back to the drawing board. Of course, results from earlier today. Manchester United beating Real Sociedad, but falling into the playoffs for the Europa League. Sheriff beating Ammonia, and Midtjylland from Denmark beating Sturm Graz. You spoke about the final Lazio game that ended 1-0 with Savic having a pretty poor game, as you said.
Most definitely.
Our perennial Europa League opponents, Karabag drawing against Freiburg, and Trabzonspor beating Ferencvarosi. In fact, Trabzonspor was a former club of your idol, Kevin Campbell. He moved there after Nottingham Forest.
He certainly did. Another Turkish team doing all right in Europa League is that team that I remember the owner said he was going to do everything he could to get Ozil there. He probably had to rethink on that one. Is it bad?
Yeah, it is. Fenerbahce. They're drawing at the moment against Dinamo.
No, not Fenerbahce. No. The smaller club, Istanbul Balıkesir or something. I remember their chairman.
Istanbul Balıkesir. I think that's what they're called. I think they're in the Conference League right now, but I'm not too sure.
The Conference League. They beat Hearts 3-1 today. Is that Conference League? Yeah.
Yeah, that is the Conference League because Hearts are in that league, that tournament. West Ham are in that tournament. We're not really focusing so much on them. And what's interesting right now is the Zurich seem to be quite comfortable on the ball. They haven't really, whenever Arsenal have tried to break, they've been able to nick it off them. And they've had occasions when they've been able to get in behind the defence. So, Gabby, Rob,
guys, if you could replace one player in this current team, who would it be? I wonder what you mean by replace. Do you mean just for tonight, Craig? Do you mean like forever banish someone? For me, Rob Holding doesn't have the biggest future going forward. Personally,
go! And it's Scotsman. What a time! Yep, go.
I'll take it. Oh, Braveheart!
Yep. What a time to score! What a time to score! What a time to score! What a
look at his face. I see Rams around him. I'm fighting for my fucking future. Do you care what I mean? Fuck you! I'm going nowhere.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I am so delighted. Some really good work down the right wing there. Ben White's clearly onside. Timed this one perfectly. Obviously, Vieira's shot was blocked, but then he was left open and right through the defence into the goal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 for goal for Kieran Tierney. And you're right, he's not going anywhere without a fight. He wants to play regularly, and he will not be allowed.
He is definitely not subscribing to KT leaving. I heard Paul Merson talking on Sky. He's not having it either. He thinks Kieran Tierney is way too good to let go. And do you know what? A couple of more finishes like that, son. Do you know what I mean? You'll have me reconvinced. Do you know what, bro? See, I watched Benfica last night. Honestly, I watch a lot of fucking football, man. It's not like the way you love a bit of the game, bro. I'm going to say, mate, I was watching Mr. Ronaldo last night. Mate, he takes corners, he takes free kicks. He's a left. Well, we know he's a left back, but mate, left backs that takes corners, free kicks. He's there. They're basically their set piece, man. I'm talking from anywhere around the box. He's banging them towards goals. So obviously we know he's got that in him.
A left-footed Kieran Trippier, if you will.
I don't know if he's better than KT, but this Ronaldo looks good. I was literally accepting.
What I was saying that Grimaldo would be the left-footed Trippier.
Of course he would. Yes. Of course. I'm sorry. I thought you meant basically, yeah. And for me, basically, for the lack of finances at the club, my mighty rebuild, I thought basically that I had no other option but to sell KT and even possibly ESR. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Leading back to something like that Merson comment. Funny, we're talking about Merson again. There you go. Definitely like that guy, didn't I?
Yeah, I know how much you loved him.
50 for you and Manny. What are you talking about? Go on, KT. Most definitely can. Go on, you tell me. Oh, Linda. Sorry, I get it. 50-50 for you and Manny. Linda put a super chat in. £1. Respect, Linda. Go on, KT. There's another Braveheart fan. So, Arsenal fans, I'm going to ask you in a nutshell. If Arsenal theoretically had to skip KT off to Aston Villa for 30 million fine English pounds. Signed Grimaldo in January for £5 million, but £25 million to go towards a banging central midfielder. Are you subscribing to this, or is Danny just going crazy? And I'm just trying to spend too much money like it's FIFA out here. I think Arsenal just need Manny. We're top. Listen, Manny, I'm gonna tell you something, mate, and you're not stupid. We're top of the league, my friend.
Yep.
And let's imagine any other club that I don't know, just anyone with a touch of ambition that was top of the league. Yeah, let's say we're even Stevens come World Cup, and then when we come back Boxing Day, I believe they kick off again. We're all even Stevens. Like, throwing Rice and Mudryk at this rather than and I'm not trying to disrespect you. I have no idea how he plays, who he plays, what he really looks like, this Facundo Torres. All I'm saying is I don't know who he is, and I don't really massively at this point want to know who he is. I want a quality signing on the wing. Someone to put a rocket, not that they need it, but a rocket right up Martinelli and Saka's arse to make sure they're performing at 9.5 to 10 every single game, or they know there is a prime 21-year-old Mudryk waiting just to take their place. Simple as. First time you fuck up, bang, Mudryk in, and vice versa. This is the way Arsenal Football Club, for me, get better. Just having that better quality all over the pitch. This is when I say, really, if Exaka or Partey have to drop out, who the fuck is this Lukonga? And then he doesn't bother me that much. Squad player, yes. But really and truly, I would prefer 3 amazing central midfielders. A Exaka, a Partey, a Rice. And then one of you, I'm afraid to say, every game does have to drop out. Do you know what I mean? Unless it is a Man City. Unless it is a Man City and you want to really harden up that midfield. Then you play Exaka, Partey and a Declan Rice and fucking see if you can get through that, boys. Do you know what I mean? We know how Exaka goes on. We know when Partey's on his A game, how he goes on. And Deckers, he's got massive techers.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. And obviously, when Declan Rice plays for England, he also shows pretty much how good he is. And he is pretty much the beating heart of the West Ham team right now. I also get what you're saying, that at the moment he will be out of contract quite soon. And
that one's coming next. That one's coming next. Sorry, Harani.
Yeah.
Manny, take over for a second. Look, read this question, brother. The question's for both of us, but there you go.
What is the prediction for Sunday? Ooh, good question. Loaded question. I'm going for a 2-2.
First of all, Rodney, does Aubameyang score for you? First of all, does Aubameyang score? That's my biggest worry. He's been quiet, isn't he? And what a game for him to come and liven himself up, seriously, properly liven himself up. Like Larihi had to sort of liven himself up the other night. Was it against Salzburg or something?
It was Zagreb.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
He very nearly scored. He very nearly scored, mind you, but he had a shot which sort of cannoned off the crossbar, and he was obviously a lot more involved. I just don't know if he'll score, to be honest, because obviously, there was that promotion, everything about that, and I get the feeling that with so much talk about him coming up against Arsenal, it might mean more and more pressure. And I mean, whatever system that Potter will play, it will be interesting to see, of course, if Aubameyang will have a role. He obviously wants to rotate Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Oba, and even bring Armando Broja into the picture. So again,
for me, hold on, Manny. This Potter will know Aubameyang's itching to score against Arsenal. Again, nothing personal, but just feeling as a motherfucker. Aubameyang would love to score against Arsenal. Shut a few people up. Mate, I'm going 2-2 so far. I don't know. I'm a bit worried. I go 2-2.
Yeah. 2 all as well for me. 2 all.
Hey, Vieira. If it's not 1, he could even score 2 Aubameyang. Seriously, I am fearing the whole Aubameyang thing.
He could. I mean, it's the indomitable law. You score.
Craig has just stolen. Craig has just absolutely rudely, even though it was probably on there for a couple of minutes, has rudely stolen my 2-2. Absolutely brilliant, Craig. Well, I'm going 2-2 as well.
I had a 2-2 as well. Aubameyang will score and celebrate right in Arteta's face. I don't think he'll do that, Craig, because here's the thing. He said
he will make some dance. He'll go and do a couple of back hit flips and everything. I don't think it will be in Arteta's face job. Oh, go on, Lee. Lee will be at the game as well. Beautiful, silvery, shiny ticket he's got. He's going 3-1 to the Arsenal. Lee, does Uber score the goal?
Yeah. But, here's the thing. Forget about Aubameyang. The biggest concern...
Player, he's a decent little player.
He scored against Zagreb and looked really tidy in the midfield. And he actually was the type of midfielder that Chelsea have been crying out for a long time now, especially with N'Golo and Kante being injured. All these ridiculous work permit issues pretty much prevented him from playing. And I was really surprised that he wasn't, snapped up earlier, at least not in the summer. It was stupid. And they were struggling without him, with Kante being injured. And their midfield still, until he started to play, it didn't really look quite solid. And Potter obviously has some problems trying to pick up his side after that horrible result at the Amex, where he was given a rude welcome back, as it were. And you can say that two of them, the goals they conceded, were own goals, but still, that team looked absolutely shoddy. There was no cohesion. There was no positional sense. So he has to get things right against Arsenal. Otherwise, as Lee Akers predicted, we could be on course to give them another good thrashing at the Bridge. So that would be something to behold, certainly. And
onto a touch of transfer news, Nanny. Onto a touch of transfer news. Now, I'm hearing Man United are preparing for the summer, and a player that I've mentioned, I think, at least 7 times tonight. I'm hearing Man United are preparing, as they say, a bid for Declan Rice. Now, apparently his response wasn't amazing to sort of being linked to Man United. Without going into it majorly, I'll keep it for a reaction later, but it was, without saying these words at all, it was almost like saying, I know what I'm up to. Do you know what I mean? And for me, it just sounded like, I don't believe he's signing a new deal at West Ham. From what he said about Man United, I don't believe he will or does want to join Man United. Allegedly, he's a Chelsea fan, but who knows? I reckon this boy doesn't want to go too far from where the pond is, and I think he wants to stay in London.
Oh, a dreadful mistake there from Aaron Ramsdale, who inexplicably concedes a corner. I mean, if you watch the highlights of this right now, you will be hopping mad.
How the fuck did he do that?
Right now.
How the fuck did he do that?
Stupid, it really is. I think he was trying to pass it. He didn't get the weight right, and now he's conceded a corner. And if Zurich do score from this, God forbid, he'll be pretty much a candidate for Plonker of the Week, believe you me.
Linda's just saying just said Ben White trying to get in the England squad. He certainly is. There's a few people. I'll be talking about the World Cup later on. We know Odegaard ain't going. I reckon the Brazilian trio probably ain't going. Jesus ain't scoring goals, so I don't actually see him going. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Martinelli might go. Martinelli might go as a good backup.
Brilliant. Nice. Okay. Fofana isn't the biggest miss. Obviously, I don't think Potter's had him, or maybe had him for about 20 minutes so far in his Chelsea career. Kante, I don't think he's had the opportunity to play him. James will piss him off, and Chilwell, I do believe, was slowly just about becoming his number one. He seemed to be taking off his little pal from Brighton, Cuella, quite a lot. But the thing is, I wouldn't worry about Chilwell because they've got a £63 million replacement, Cuella. As for James, they've probably got, who have they got to replace James? What do you call him? Anquileta.
Cesar Azpilicueta, the long-time club captain, who very well.
Azpilicueta, fuck off.
Yeah.
Azpilicueta, well done.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of come back on as a sub, and he also started against Wolves. He can do a job, but I think his best days are slowly, getting behind him. He could possibly leave Chelsea at the end of the season, so they will need to...
Stop the press. What Cam just said has just got me. Aubameyang, if he does score, he's going to put on an Arteta face mask. Could you remember? That actually would be worth to watch. I would find that hilarious. If he actually did it, just run to the corner flag and put an Arteta face on like it was Fright Night or something for Halloween and just standing there holding the corner flag. That would be absolutely gangster, I have to say. God bless you, Cam. God bless you.
But here's the thing. I also believe that Potter will not want Aubameyang to be the sole focus. And I think he's probably made it clear that he wants Aubameyang to score. He doesn't want him to make an ass of himself. And I still think that Aubameyang has enough class about him not to overdo his celebrations. So it will be interesting. But first of all, he has to score. We don't know if he will. We'll see what happens. And I just hope he doesn't. Obviously not for our sake. I mean, If he falls victim to the pressure and tries too hard, like Jesus is doing right now, it might not work for him. But we will see what happens. And I completely lost my
play, man. I think he likes Pulisic more. From what I've seen from Potter, he seems to like Pulisic more. Sorry, I'm just replying to Rodney. I do have to reply to everyone, as you know, brother. Just looks fatigued. Manny, what's going on in the game, bro? Not much analysis tonight. Yeah, that's probably because I've been waffling as well. We'll come straight back to you, UE. Martinelli, Reese. Hold on, Martinelli ruins them Sunday. I'm telling you. Go on, son. What do you reckon, Martinelli? Two, yeah. Bamian will make it 2-1, and then Jesus will come out of retirement and score like the fourth coming of Christ.
Yeah. I'm really glad that Tierney got that goal now, because he deserved that goal when he played against, I believe it was Glimt at the Emirates, only for it hit the post and that goal thief and Nketiah getting it. Reminds me of classic David Nugent almost. Shirt tugging. You cannot ignore that, ref. But look, shot there and pinball in the area.
Manny. Who did you just compare to Dave Nugent? Was that the Tierney goal? Dave Nugent, did you say? I remember. Where the fuck did that come from?
No, but listen, I mean, if you, I think.
Where did he play? Ipswich, I think. David Nugent. Where did he play? Ipswich.
No, listen. The David Nugent thing was obviously one of his most notorious antics when playing for England. I believe there was a shot from, I think it was Jermaine Defoe. I don't remember.
Jesus is now a goalkeeper. He's now saving shots from going in for Arsenal. Look at this shit. Oh my God, Jesus is now doing so much. He's actually blocking goal-bound efforts.
Pinball in the area. Yeah. You probably saw Nketiah's shirt being tugged as well. I do not know how the referee did not see that, but it is what it is. And so the ball actually was sort of going just on the line and about to go in, but Nugent thought he had to sort of tap it in and claim it for himself and confirm that. Maybe he was trying to confirm it. I don't know. He got that reputation of being a goal thief from there. So if you recall, Danny, Tierney had that amazing shot. Oh, and Vieira's down. And we will find out what's going on. And there's a booking for the Zurich defender. So Tierney had that amazing shot with his left foot, cannoned off the post, and then Nketiah was it was right in front of Nketiah and he tapped it in. But Tierney deserved that goal for the work he put in. I'm glad he's got his goal tonight. And
you filthy bastard. 1 second.
Yeah. Aliti.
I know it's really meaty, he's about 6 stone, but that's the type of tackle I still like in football, man. It wasn't as bad as all that. It looked bad for a second, but
It did. And obviously back in the days,
the ball, mate. He's grabbed him and crunched the ball.
I know. And listen, back in the day, of course, that sort of tackle was, a dime a dozen. Certainly when I started watching football in the early 90s and late 80s, that was, the early 90s really, because I only started during Italian 90. So that sort of tackle was...
It does ring a bell. Maybe it was the blue. I was thinking Ipswich. It was Portsmouth. I do remember he did get a single cap for England. I thought maybe he got more than one, but I know we got an England cap, and I was sitting there like, eh?
It was Nugent, and that was for England. And obviously, he got the reputation of being the goal thief from that incident. So, Nketiah didn't really deserve to score that goal. That goal was all Tierney, but I'm glad he scored tonight. That's what I'm saying. So whenever I think of a goal thief, David Nugent comes to my mind. You can look him up on YouTube. You'll find the video. Yeah? And...
I actually remember it. Like, I remember it. That's for the benefit of everyone else. I remember this guy, David Nugent. Yeah, it was just a couple of bits, and I don't know. He bounced around like I think a lot of clubs after that England thing. Like, did he get one half decent move? Maybe it was just Portsmouth. Was there a Wester? I swear he bounced around about 6 clubs in about 3 years. I swear to God he did.
Yeah, to be honest, I never. He was never my cup of tea. Yeah, while he was at Portsmouth, he went to Burnley on loan. He had a very long stint with Leicester City. Then played for Middlesbrough, Derby County, Preston North End with a loan at Tranmere Rovers, and that was that. And his England cap was during his Portsmouth years. Or actually, I think it was
Graham Taylor gave him that cap. It must have been Graham Taylor that gave him that cap, innit?
No, 2007. It wasn't Graham Taylor. It must have been. I want to say Steve McLaren, obviously, because Ericsson left at the end of the 2006 World Cup. Wait. If it wasn't McLaren, it might have been Capello. Let me just take a look right here and see. He made his he was called up by Steve McLaren, called up to the full English squad to replace Darren Bent. He made his debut as a late substitute for England in the qualifying game against Andorra and Barcelona. He scored the final goal in the 93rd minute, tapping in a goal-bound shot from Jermaine Defoe just as it was about to cross the line.
Yep.
He expressed satisfaction having accomplished a one goal, one
Craig,
cap.
Craig, envisage the same mistake. No, sorry, I'm not going to say mistake. Envisage lightning striking twice. Number 19 shirt, I'm going to keep saying it. Nelson, £100,000 a week. That's my reply to you, Craig.
Yeah, you just missed it. If you're watching the TV, you just missed a piece of action. Ramsdale was forced into making a save. So listen, Zurich are giving us problems, and we need to be on our guard. I'm glad we've got the goal, but listen, we need to be on our guard. No chance, no doubt about it. Ever since that game, Nugent was never capped, and his 11-minute England national career is the shortest of any player who scored for the team. So his record reads: played one game, only 11 minutes, one goal, and he will always be remembered as the goal thief who stole that goal from Jermaine Defoe. So whenever I think of a goal thief, I think of him. Now, I want to ask you a question. You were talking about Facundo Torres.
Yeah.
Apparently, Wikipedia has him playing for Orlando City, and he began his career at Peñarol, age 22. Is that him?
That's him.
Right, so
he would have played against us in the friendly in the summer as well, allegedly. I don't remember the details.
Right. Yeah. So he has 10 caps for Uruguay right now.
He what? I don't think he's played for Uruguay. What did you say?
He's played Uruguay, for Uruguay. Yes. Yeah, he's played Uruguay, 10 caps. Yeah, Todd saved that from the keeper. Just seen that. Nketiah, good header.
I have no idea. He had
Great
10 caps
save that from the keeper. Yeah. So I don't know if he's yeah, he was obviously a part of the World Cup qualifying campaign.
The goalkeeper. Is anyone losing patience with Jesus? Well, the first thing for me is, Lee, he's going way too deep. And as I've said to Manny already tonight, this is a guy that looks like he's suffering a bit of a crisis in confidence, because the work rate hasn't failed, it hasn't dipped, but we want him scoring goals. I don't want a Lacazette. I don't want someone that's running around just trying to put in a shift. Fucking get in the centre and fucking score some goals. Yes, I agree with you.
We've got another corner now.
One second, Manny. I'm not quite at the lost patience totally, but he's pissing me the F off, if that can answer you in any way, Lee. He's pissing me the F off. But he's not quite Lacazette just yet, so I give him a huge let off, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't cheesed me off yet, and I think we will start to see him score. Like I've said, he's just got to be told to relax. He knows what to do. So another corner for Arsenal in the 38th minute, the start of the 38th minute, and it is.
Mate, how have I got a full minute behind you? Did you say 38 or 37th? How did I get a full minute behind you? 37.
No, it's the 38th minute, so it is still 37. I'm now 37, 20, 21.
Okay, fair enough.
You're still fine. You're still fine.
I was literally having a heart attack. I was thinking, how the fuck am I losing time? Okay.
Look, bruv, listen. You are barely 8 seconds behind me. All is well. We are good, yeah? And so you haven't missed anything. I haven't missed anything, and we are seeing another corner being conceded by Zurich. So now we're all over them.
Manny,
but we cannot afford to lose our concentration.
Let's get you on this one. Who's looking forward to the World Cup on a lighter note? Most definitely. I'm not the biggest, as we know. I'm not my patriotic. Like, you know what I mean? I could support Holland as easily as I support England. Sorry to say, guys. Most definitely. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it, and I will be covering quite a lot of it. Who knows? Man, you might want to jump in for a few of these streams. I am going to cover as much of the World Cup as in fact, I'm not going to say every game, but I'm going to do my fucking best. How's about that, Manny? What do you think of that? I'm going to go.
That sounds good.
I'm going to try and go for every game. If there is and I don't want to be ignorant to any country, but if there's a game that I know it's going to be a proper 0-0 and blah, 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 and I've got something to do, obviously I won't think twice about skipping it. But apart from that, I'm going to cover there's much of the World Cup. So yes, Rodney, I actually am. It's a bit different. It's we've never had a World Cup in the middle of the season. People say, especially of English players, like they're dying on their foot by the time they get to World Cups. So the way I see it is, pretty much everyone across Europe and the world, whatever now, should be on the same sort of footing, give or take a fucking game or two. So I reckon this is an interesting World Cup. It's a free for all.
Well, it could be, and obviously it will be interesting to see how the teams acclimatise. I'm a little bit surprised, obviously, given the climatic conditions in the Middle East right now, that not much more time is
Go
being
on,
given
KT.
to the teams to acclimatise. And
Go on, KT. We KT. Go on, we KT. Oh, Pablo, you fucking idiot. Oh, played by KT again, though. Do you know what? I know this might be half hurting UE, but Katie, I'm going to call him. KT, Kieran, he's actually he's man of the match so far for me, Manny.
Yeah, he is. And, he's not put a foot wrong tonight. He's certainly looked good going up the pitch. And,
right, hold on.
yeah.
To be honest, Jesus, peace be upon him. He's been getting assists too and chances. It will come, Lee, son. I get it as well, and I'm massively confident. That's why I said he ain't pissing me off. What I am saying is again, UE, just he's doing that real bad sign of coming to the halfway line unnecessarily. Come on, man, we've got midfielders out here today. We've got creative players. Mate, get in the box, get in and around it. Do you know what I mean? And you'll have a much better chance, in my opinion. Sorry, I'm not a football coach or anything, clearly. But in my opinion, which is a fucking blinding one, let me say so myself, get in the box a bit more, Jesus. Stop this running around. He's on the wings, mate. He's turning up on the left wing, the right wing. Just get the fuck in the centre and banging a goal. But UE, I do think you're kind of right on that. And I'm not getting on his back too much. Let's have everyone. Linda, go to World Cup, blah, blah, blah. Right, let's leave them comments alone for a minute. Let's get back into this. Sorry, 40 minutes and 40 seconds now on the clock.
You're 7 seconds behind me. 7 seconds behind me, so we're all good. And now there's still a lot of action right now in the Zurich penalty area, and there's a man down now. So it's good to see that we are dominating the game right now, and we certainly look a lot better. We cannot afford to let them come in. And I want to check the score from Norway. Have PSV scored? Yes, they have, in fact, scored. They are 1-0 up. So, listen, we need to keep this lead. I want to see us win.
Who scored? Your boy?
It's not letting me see who scored.
No problem. I'm on it. Don't worry. PSV. Is that a 2-1 up? I know that's not quite PSV. I don't know. Where the fuck are PSV, eh? Sorry, there we go. Fuck me, they're in our group. That's why. Sorry, we couldn't find that. No, it's fucking with me as well, Manny.
Yeah, BBC doesn't help us at the best of times.
And Sky is also fucking with me. So I'm on the Sky app and they're fucking with me also. It's saying, sorry, we couldn't do that.
Don't worry. This is why we have Google. I'm on Google right now, taking a look at the lineups. It's an own goal by Alphonse Samsted, the right back who scored an own goal.
I was waiting to see if it was just Cody popping up to give us something to talk about later on a reaction to this. I don't know if you're hearing basically.
Huge stoppage right now because the number 24 Katic's name is sustained a bit of a nosebleed. He's got to change his jersey as well. No blood on his jersey. None of this Paul Ince, Terry Butcher stuff where you'll have a bloodstained jersey. Those days are long gone. Of course, Paul Ince, I know, we remember the iconic scene in Rome where he had a bandage around his head and Gazza said he looked like a pint of Guinness.
And Terry Butcher looked like a complete madman, if you ever remember that legendary picture. His eyes are all, I don't know, he looked like he was on all sorts of drugs, I'm telling you.
Oh, I saw that picture. I mean, look, I didn't see the qualifiers, but I obviously watched a lot of Italia 90. I think Butcher, was at his, imperious best during that tournament. He pretty much captained the side after Robson went home. And then it was a question of how the team would do. We still had a few injuries. We still looked like we were the best team in that tournament. And when we lost in the semi-finals, I was crying like a baby. When Chris Waddle blasted that kick over the bar, that's it. The waterworks the water started flowing.
I know.
That was
he ran from the halfway line, didn't it? That was the longest in run-ups for a penalty I've ever seen in my life as well. I'm slightly exaggerating. It was quite a bit outside the penalty area. Though.
And now Nelson gives the ball away but wins it back with a nice tackle. Nelson hasn't really gotten into the game so far tonight. So I wonder if because people have been raving about this guy, and obviously the idea is that we don't want to see another Eddie Nketiah just put in one decent performance, albeit without the ridiculous Ghostbuster phoning celebration, then having him have a new contract and him do sweet FA after that. And that's exactly what Nketiah is doing. I mean, credit to Nketiah, he at least had a shot on target, which was brilliantly saved by the Zurich keeper. And 30 seconds to go till the end of normal time, but we will have plenty of time for stoppages. So,
I'll tell you, I was a bit pissed off.
I mean, I wonder why.
Directly away from even Ben White. I like it.
Yeah. So, so as a winger, I mean, obviously Torres does have a little bit of potential, but he is perhaps a little bit unproven. And I get what you're saying. I wouldn't necessarily want to buy him unless
up a bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
I didn't know he played for Uruguay. I knew he was Uruguayan. I mean, I didn't know he had 10 caps under his belt. That's reasonably impressive, I have to say, at his age. It's not terrible.
Quite impressive. But listen, he still looks a little bit raw, and he was also in the squad for the Copa America as substitute in all 5 games as Uruguay were eliminated. I don't think Uruguay will be at this World Cup anyway, so we might not see much of him in Qatar.
I'm definitely going to have a look at the whole list. Is 32 still, I take it, these days. But yeah, I'm going to look at all of the nations at the World Cup. I'm going to start getting into this because it will storm up. It'll be like 2-3 days to go, and I'll start thinking, right, touch of researchers in hand here. Quickly, Tunisia is at the World Cup, bro. And there was a guy that would have played, and he is an Arsenal central defender, Omar Rekik, but he's been injured all season. He's played 17 minutes for Sparta Rotterdam or something in Holland, and he's been injured all season. Bit of a shame because he's actually a starter for Tunisia. I take it Mexico ain't at the World Cup, are they? Or are they?
Mexico are at the World Cup, and I stand corrected. Uruguay are at the World Cup, so we will see Luis Suarez, we will see Edson Cavani, and we could very well see Facundo Torres. So maybe if he gets a few substitute appearances and does quite well, who knows? Maybe the decision to buy him might not be so bad after all. I mean, if we make that decision, that is. And I'm assuming that, it'll, given his age, it'll be another addition to the project youth score, just like Marquinhos is and a few others. But again, that will be interesting. There is a huge, this is the 55-player preliminary squad, so I'm going to see if he's there. He is, in fact, a part of the preliminary squad, age 22, 10 caps for Orlando City. So from that squad, he will be picked. There is no place, of course, for Christian Stuani. He is injured, so I think that's his international career done and dusted. But there's Suarez, there's Cavani, there is Diego Godin, the captain, Martin Caceres, and, of course, the long-time goalkeeper, Fernando Muslera. And that is half-time at the Emirates Stadium, with Kieran Tierney's goal being the difference. Arsenal have been mostly dominant, but have also been guilty of taking their eye off the ball and allowing Zurich to come back in. At the moment, they're leading 1-0, but so are PSV Eindhoven. Another goal will certainly be of comfort, but at the moment, all's well that ends well at the half. So,
guys, please get a like to the video, do be subscribing. If we're as new as Manny said, it is 1-0 to Arsenal. KT, Superman of the evening so far. Decent performance, looking even better going forward. Guys, this is the time to start whacking in some comments, start whacking some likes on the video, and get the questions into me and Manny. As I said, World Cup, Mexico, Flores. I wonder, is he a starter? Go and tell me about, the Arsenal kid, the 18-year-old Flores. I'm hearing he does play for Mexico, so I'll be interested to see if this boy makes the World Cup squad as well. I'm wondering next season, is there going to be a place for people like Flores, for players like Coutinho? Because I tell you what, they will just end up leaving Arsenal like Omari Hutchinson, because Hutchinson left because he felt he was better than certain players in the first team, or as good as if not. So if these players have got talent, why can't we ever see them in games in the Europa League? You know what I mean? I know Flores, most of them are on loan now, the players that I'm talking about, but Flores, whatever did happen to Omar Rekik, the guy that come as part of the deal for Matteo Guendouzi when he went to Germany, I don't know.
I am looking for a Flores right now. Did you say he was a defender, or what did you say he was?
Midfielder, attacking mid.
Attacking mid. Guardado, Herrera, Alvarez, Gutierrez, Rodriguez, Alvarado, Romo, Lainez, Sanchez, Chavez. Well, they haven't named their 55-man preliminary squad as of yet. Did you say Marcelo Flores, who is 19 years old?
That's him.
Yeah, he is at the moment playing for Real Oviedo in Spain, the club where Stan Collymore ended his career.
Like, is he
And
playing? I know he might be representing. Is he playing?
um,
No, I knew this as well. I knew he was on loan, but is he playing? I've not really heard his name again.
let me take a look and see. Obviously, Wikipedia is not necessarily reliable. Yes, he is in fact an Arsenal youth, 19 years old, born in Canada, but playing for Mexico, and he has 3 caps for them already. He's made 9 appearances so far this season, having joined Oviedo on loan. So, yeah, he is
Okay.
a part of things
Very good,
going
very
on,
good, very good, very good.
and yeah, he made his
Not sure if
professional.
he's going to go to the World Cup
Yeah.
though. Just to tender 3 caps. Not sure if he's quite World Cup material, but I'd love to see him there as well. I'd
Well,
like
he's
to see
19. He's 19 years old, and of course, speaking of youth, Japan named their squad, and they actually left out several experienced players in favor of some youngsters who've apparently, according to the coach, have the desire and ambition to come and play at the World Cup. So they've got their longest-serving, most capped players. They've got a bunch of youngsters. One or two experienced players didn't make the cut. 2 players from Celtic.
Ah, that's what I was going to say. What about the Celtic boys? Surely they're there. Is it
Nope.
Kagiogo? No?
Well, Hatate isn't there. Furuhashi isn't there. The third one is there. I will get to the
Kyogo.
Japan team right
Kyogo,
now.
I think his name is. Kyogo?
Yeah, Kyogo Furuhashi, but he's not in the squad.
Oh, fuck.
No,
Hey.
and Ria Hatate is also not there. I will just. I'm just getting to the Japanese team right now.
I don't know how much you look at Scottish football. Do you think Jota will make the Portugal squad?
Well, he should. I mean, as long as
Oh,
if he recovers from injury, he could very
oh
well.
no. Not a Celtic Jota, sorry. I should have made myself a bit more clear. I wasn't trying to trick you. Celtic Jota. Scored a free
He
kick
could.
to Madrid yesterday. I don't know if you see the delight on his face, even at 5-0 down, the way he ran up and celebrated. You'd have thought fucking it was an equaliser for Celtic, God bless him. But he's doing massive bits in Celtic, but then again, so people like Henrik Larsson, obviously no disrespect to Henrik Larsson. What I'm saying is this is still Scotland. I wonder if there's a place for him in the Portugal setup.
There could be. There could be. I mean, obviously they're going to want to try and bring in some more young players because Ronaldo is starting to creak a little bit. And I believe if you know of this fellow named Northside London, he's also following the fortunes of the Portuguese team. So he's basically made it crystal clear that
Hold on.
he's.
Sorry. Fulham kid. I liked him. Can't remember his name. Clearly at Liverpool now. Well,
Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the Portuguese kid, the Portugal one. Sorry, the one from Fulham. Oh, bollocks. I can't remember his name. I wanted him at Arsenal. This is terrible.
I'll get to that, but there is one Celtic guy in the Japanese squad, Daisen Maeda. He'll be going as one of only 3 strikers in the squad. It's packed with midfielders, packed with defenders, 3 goalkeepers, and just 3 strikers. Make that make sense. And he's left out the experience of Genki Haraguchi and Yuya Osako. Both of them have about 57, 74 caps. And taken in quite a few youngsters as well. I really don't think the youngsters will play though. So it's basically a bunch of people who he's trusted in the qualifiers. And I'll get to the Fulham squad right now.
No, it's not Fulham squad. Fulham guy that trained Liverpool in the summer, bro. Little Portuguese kid, can't remember. Oh, fuck me. He's lived in England all his life anyway. Don't worry about it. It's not that mad. I wanted about Arsenal, just can't remember his name. I was just wondering, would he be a late contender for the Portugal squad? I'm sure he's already given.
Let me take a look and see because I've got the squad right now. I know
this season. Shame on both of us. I can't. His name's just fucking not there. He scored for Liverpool this year, bro. He's about 19. Exceptional little talent. Can't remember his name. Right in the Harvey Elliott mold. Same position, all sorts. Oh, fuck you, Manny. Oh, my God. I've never been so annoyed at myself.
Yeah, but listen. We've obviously had a lot of things on our mind. I've also
been
trying to. Yeah, just hold on a minute. So yeah, there's one Portuguese guy, Jota. The other one, Fabio Carvalho.
There you go. There we have him. Fabio Carvalho.
Fabio Carvalho.
Yeah. He sounds English though, so like I'm not saying obviously he's clearly not English, but he's clearly lived in England all his life. When you hear him talking, he sounds like a prime Bellerin, like proper like Londoner. I was pissed off Arsenal never inquired about him at £5 million.
Yeah, short little fella. He's played for. In fact, he's played for the England under 16, under 17 teams, but then switched leaders to Portugal for the under 21s, and he
Interesting.
is, of course, in the 55-man squad for the World Cup. So that's going to be very interesting indeed. In
Interesting.
fact, I will.
Interesting.
In fact, I'm going to check out that squad right now because I think they've got the 55-man squad up already. Actually, no, they haven't. It's just the squad for Nations League games, and no, there's no sign of him.
Whip
No
up,
sign
do
of
me a
him, I'm
favour
afraid.
then, while you've got squads on your mind. Whip up USA squad, bros. I want to see how many recognisable footballers there is out there in this USA squad. How much trouble it could be to England. Like we know they've got Weston McKennie's, Reina, the Borussia Dortmund winger. Who else has America got? Matt Turner.
I'm old enough to remember Claudio Reyna, who was their captain and midfielder, and obviously a very important player. Um, oh, not the football team. I want the soccer team, man. Ridiculous. Yep, this is what I want. Right here, right here, right here. Yep, head coach Greg Berhalter, most caps Kobe Jones, top scorers Clinton Dempsey and Landon Donovan with 57 each. And now we're going to get to the squad. So, yeah, we've got the squad right here. Matt Turner, Sean Johnson, Ethan Horvath, Zach Steffen, and a guy named John Pulskamp. They are the 5 goalkeepers. Steffen is the most capped goalkeeper, but Turner has been the number 1 so far. 20 caps to his name. He was the Gold Cup winner. 28 years old. He'll probably be the number 1. He might compete with Steffen for being the number 1. And it might be either Sean Johnson or Ethan Horvath who will travel as the third keeper backup. Serginho Dest playing for AC Milan. He's playing in the Champions League right now on loan from Barcelona. Why Barcelona let him go on loan, I don't know. He is looking really, really good. Reggie Cannon for Boavista. Cameron Carter-Vickers for Celtic. We might know of him. Chris Richards, who plays for Crystal Palace. Anthony Robinson, who plays for Fulham. Nothing much else, really. A lot of very young players over
Weston
here.
McKennie is obviously going to be there. The Juventus guy, Reina, the Dortmund winner.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of decent Americans. Sorry, I'm trying to think of decent Americans. Troublesome Americans.
Yeah, Tyler Adams. He plays for
Leeds.
Leeds. And yeah, he was linked with us, but of course he's with his fellow American Marsh at Leeds right now. And then of course Yunus Musa.
Any
This
thoughts
guy's
on
interesting.
the
He
fabulous?
sounds English.
Money. Any thoughts? Sorry, on the fabulous Leo Messi. Will it be a World Cup Swans? Obviously, it will be his last World Cup. I'm pretty certain. But will it be a winning World Cup for Argentina? Will it be a near miss? What do you think of Argentina's chances? Shouts out to you, Rodney. Sorry, man. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. And yeah, obviously, I'm actually going for Argentina to win because they've had this long unbeaten run, and they seem to have a coach in Scaloni who knows all the answers. My one criticism is that obviously he might prefer to play a more defensive game, but he knows how to keep the team unbeaten and get the best out of whatever attacking talent he has. Of course, there is no Sergio Aguero. There might not be that much in terms of attack. They base their success on a strong defense. Emi Martinez in goal, obviously, and then a decent midfield with Di Maria pulling the strings along. I mean, actually, Di Maria sort of plays up front, I think, and Messi's the one who pulls the strings in midfield. But they find a way to win, and their group should be very easy. It's how they navigate the rest of the tournament which will be key. But I think the most important thing about Messi is that he's enjoying playing for Argentina once again, because there was a time when he would play for Argentina as if it was a
and he
chore.
looked like the whole. He had the shoulders. He had the whole weight of Argentina on his shoulders. If you don't mind me jumping in, he did look like he looked pressured playing for Argentina.
You took the words out of my mouth. And now, of course, since leaving Barcelona, he sees Argentina as a bit of his solace, his happy space, if you will. And when he won the Copa America with Emi Martinez winning the Best Goalkeeper Award, I was so delighted for him. And I think if he's able to go on to win the World Cup with that cohesive Argentinian team, he will usurp Ronaldo as the greatest of all time. I'm looking over here, going back to the US, at this guy, Yunus Musa, also an England youth international who's played at under 15, under 16, under 17, under 18, but he has since been capped for the US and has earned 19 caps. So that's a name which we might need to remember. He might be in the squad too. And then Pulisic, of course, at Chelsea,
I want to
Aaronson
say,
at Leeds United, and and
Manny,
also
whip up for me the Brazil squad when you're ready. Brazil next, and then we'll get back to the game. Obviously, Brazil. I want to see if like the AC Milan winger Leia will be around. Like they've got again the attacking talents in Brazil. Like you know what I mean. I want to see the players that could be potentially keeping Jesus and Co out.
Well, if you're taking a look at the forwards, I can tell you right now that obviously Neymar's a big part of that, along with Richarlison. Anthony, Manchester United, he's established himself. Rafinha with Barcelona. Vinicius Jr. with Real Madrid. A guy named Mateus Cunha, who plays for struggling Atletico. And, of course, Bobby Firmino, who plays with Liverpool. Rodrigo with Real Madrid, and Pedro, who plays for Flamengo back in Brazil. They just won the Copa Libertadores, so you see that Gabriel Jesus has a lot on his plate. And of course, with 19 goals in 56 games for the Seleção, he hasn't exactly, pulled up trees. Martinelli, I don't know why he's not being picked. He obviously lends a great deal, but again, there's just that much in terms of competition. And with regard to the defenders, there is Danilo, Thiago Silva, who captains the team, Marquinhos, not our winger, but the Paris Saint-Germain defender, Alex Telles, who plays for Sevilla. I don't know why he's still in the squad. He hasn't been doing too well with Sevilla. And then other guys like Eder Militao of Real Madrid, Renan Lodi of Nottingham Forest, and Bremer from Juventus, and Ibanez from Roma. And of course, you take a look at their reserves. Alex Sandro from Juventus, Dani Alves, the legend, who now plays for Universidad Nacional AC in Mexico.
Yep.
And then, of course, Gabriel Magalhaes, who hasn't even been capped by Japan. So there's still so many players to choose from, but there's so much in terms of competition. And by the way, listen, we are getting back to the Emirates. The players are just coming out onto the pitch once again. So, yeah, look, so far it's so good, I would have to say. And
Yo, man, you're quiet. Okay, you're there.
Yeah. So the fact that
just seeing back the KT goal, beautiful, loving it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think of any other player who's really looked positive, but I do like the look of El Neni and how he's sort of been able to command proceedings. Vieira has looked good running with the ball, but obviously his final touches let him down. He's had the ball nicked off him. Yes. He had an attempt at a bicycle kick, which sort of went horribly wrong, if you will. Yep. And yeah, it's hard to think of any other player. And look, Ramsdale, I have no idea what that idiot was thinking when he made that pass. It was stupid. So there is a halftime substitution for Zurich. They're bringing on Antonio Marchesano, who, of course, scored that injury time winner against Bodo Glimt when they played. And he's going to come on to try and provide some kind of attacking impetus, maybe. So I think Zurich are trying to look for an equalizer. They know that they obviously can't defeat us. And I definitely don't see them qualifying for the Conference League, but they're going to want to give a decent account of themselves. So just about to kick off, Arsenal attacking from right to left. Jesus with the ball in the middle. No substitutions from Arsenal. And we are off. Long pass back to Aaron Ramsdale, who will send it up front. That will be received by Nketiah. And that isn't Nketiah. That's actually Sambi Lokonga who received that. And he was clattered into, actually. So trying to head for that. And he was sort of barged in the back, really, by the Zurich defender. That looked horrible. And no yellow card for him. Lucky son of a gun, but
I was just trying to change my link, see if I sped up or anything. I think
Lindrit Camberi is the guilty party there. So I'm now going to keep my eye on what happens. So we've got Nelson and Vieira standing over it. Will it be Vieira who takes it with the in-swinging left footer to try and find a man in the penalty area? Yes, it is him. He's raising his hand right now. And so he chips it in. Finds a Zurich defender, Jesus, and he skies it over the bar. But it looks as though it didn't. Well, it looks as though he's won a corner from that actually, because well taken free kick. Doesn't find anyone at first, but it's come to Jesus. And I think the keeper has deflected it over for a corner from the looks of it. Yep, it's gone over the keeper's shoulder. It's hit his arm and gone over the bar. So Arsenal, in fact, win a corner. Decent save again from Brescia, who has made about 2 or 3 important saves tonight. Otherwise, Zurich would be down 4-0, 3 or 4-0. So Vieira again with the set piece.
Manny, just jumped out of the my thing. I'm just going back in to see if I can catch you up ever so slightly. So I'll let you know. I want to do a minute check when I'm back in. Sorry, brother, carry on. I've just jumped out. It started annoying me. The free kick there, I was a bit too far behind you.
I get that. You're not too far behind me, though. I mean, I'm at 47.02 now. So where are you?
Hold on, I'm just coming in now. Let me tell you where I'm at. 46.56.
Brilliant. So you are now 14 seconds behind me.
I thought I'd furthered my way. Let me check my other links quickly.
Yeah, but anyway, taken by Vieira, headed back in by Eddie Nketiah, and it goes straight to Brescia in the goal, who now throws it out, hoping to find one of his teammates, but all he succeeds in doing is finding Sambi Lokonga, who puts that behind for a Zurich throw. And so now we're seeing a lot more of Lokonga coming in. Obviously, he hasn't led that much in terms of attacking impetus, but that's probably not his role. He's more suited to being more of a holding midfielder. And I want to see what more he contributes now. Tierney with the throw to Sambi Lokonga. And it's sort of a long pass back. Does he find his man? He finds Jesus, who's being treble teamed at the moment, but he was fouled. The referee awards a free kick, and it's a booking for the number 24, Katic, who was injured earlier on with a bad nosebleed. Clattering into Jesus like that. No place for that in the game, son. Here's a yellow card for you. And the shirts they're wearing are fluorescent yellow, so not quite the same color. And so we see El Neni standing over this. Now, he's looked good so far in terms of staying solid and providing that physicality. And it's interesting to see what sort of role he'll play in this game right now. Chips into the penalty area, headed away, and Ben White's trying to get it, but he's not going to get any joy. Or is he?
Bro, man, I'm going further and further behind. Sorry, 48-45?
No, now you're back. It's 40. You're about 10 seconds behind me now.
All right, sweet. I can live with that. All right, sorry. I started pressing too many buttons. Like, we're back up and sort of running, but yeah, sorry, man. Fuck me.
Yeah, all good. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So yeah, still some attacking, some play going on right now. Zurich trying to make something down the left-hand side happen, the left wing, and Ben White concedes the throw. So yeah, sometimes as well, I should warn you that my signal also can be affected by some bad inclement weather. So if it's if it's raining where I am now, I won't get any signal. So
shit,
I'm fucked. So you're going to have to take over commentary duties for now until further notice.
No problem, Majid. Do let me know. Obviously, we know I'm slightly behind, Manny. I'm on literally 49-25. Zurich throwing. I'm liking their kit actually, man. Shades of, it's not sort of old Arsenal's, but there's definitely the dark blue and the yellow shade of old Arsenal kits, even Adidas ones. But Manny will be back with us shortly, I'm quite sure, people. Still 1-0 Arsenal, as far as I know. It's still 1-0 PSV in the other game. So another couple of goals would be nice, guys. And then we can freshen it up and bring off a couple of people that's being overexerted by Arteta. Jesus now way over the halfway line getting chopped. This is what I mean. I love a hard-working player. And look, I've just gone backwards again. This is getting quite fucking frustrating. I'm now seeing Jesus getting chopped.
Here, so now my mouse has picked.
Yeah, no problem, Manny. As I said, sorry, my link has just gone backwards again. But anyway, Jesus is getting chopped up in the air. For me, Jesus has got to start finding his role as a centre forward, man. Stop trying to do this. My name is Lacazette. Do you know what I mean? With all respect to Lacazette, it was boring. No goals at the end of seasons. Like, seriously, he provides fuck all as a striker. Anyway, he's no longer our problem. He's up in France. He's their problem. But Jesus, please find your way into the penalty area, bruv. I'm loving the work rate, but mate, that's a bit more like it. Start getting that way. Vieira on the ball now. Just put us halfway. Come on, Arsenal. Let's kill this real quick, Gabriel. Be nice to get Gabriel. Which I don't care for anyone. Manny, are we back?
Not yet, not yet. I will inform you if I'm back. And at the moment, I'm trying to get some updates right now from BBC. I know it's stupid. I don't like BBC's service, but it's better than nothing at the moment. And you know what? The worst part is that BBC is so far behind. It's scary. It really is. And it's still talking about.
For some reason, I keep jumping back a further 5-6 seconds. I'm seeing things, and then it will skip backwards. I don't know what's going on. Was it raining up in this fucking village as well? What's going on? Yeah, I'm not going to go with problems. It's not diabolical. Picture's fine. I mean, I'm just going back a couple of seconds inexplicitly for no fucking reason. So yeah, literally. Go on, Tierney. Brilliant from Tierney. Again, I don't know if they ripped his shirt off. What happened to Tierney's shirt? Is that fucking ripped up? Tierney's going on a proper Braveheart. They've ripped the shirt off my back.
What can you do? What can you do? I mean, obviously, you know, he's the goal scorer. He's the big threat. They want a piece of him. It's
look at the state of them. Braveheart. They fucking ripped the shirt off my back. Ken, do you see what I mean? Fuck this. You bastards. Mate, he's got a completely ripped shirt. Have you seen this?
No, I can't see it right now, and obviously with the TV not doing me any favors, I'm going to have to find some stream online. Obviously, due to certain reasons, I cannot.
Calm down, don't panic. Don't say this, mate. It's brilliant. He's having to change his shirt now because the geezer literally ripped it clean off his back by holding it back.
That is the Kieran Tierney we know and love. I tell you right now, that is just amazing.
He's done to the incredible Hulk and started ripping out of his shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Sambi and Ketia and Holding, not good enough if we want to progress. I'm going to have to give you a massive shout out on that one. All three of them names, the sooner we sell them, my friend. Squad players and all, not bad. What I'm saying is I want better squad players. So for me, if you have to swap squad player for squad player, I would now, in fact, even though I don't like the fat boy from Belgium, I would, in fact, take Tillemans on a free to replace Sambi. In Ketia, you've got the Balogun route. I'd rather Endrick, the 16-year-old from Brazil. And as for Holding, I would take Ivan and Dicker, even though he's left-footed. But that sort of gives the option for Gabriel to have a rest at certain points next season. And I would just say...
Okay, Danny, one question. Where are you right now? What minute are you on right now?
I am 53, spot on, 53.05.
I am on 52.37. I'm actually watching an online stream, so it's... actually quite slow and cumbersome, and it's better than nothing.
It's not a problem. You had a glorious first half. I'm not saying I want to take over. I'm just saying you had a glorious first half. Fiddle around a bit. I'm here. Fiddle. Like what I was doing. It actually got annoying for me. That's why I was so silent at the start of the second half. I was jumping. Yeah,
I get that. So obviously, what you're seeing right now. I'm on 53.03, so I'm still a little bit behind. But we see Boran Iasovic taking the throw right now. I think you've already seen that. And not that much in terms of play going forward. What are the comments saying? Anyone having anything to say?
Lee, he's a bit pissed off. He's had enough, he's saying. Craig has basically said, Sambi, Albert Lokonga, Nketiah and Holding are not good enough if Arsenal want to progress. Mate, he's on 54 minutes. I'm on 54.20. Sorry, Rodney, just saying. I don't know where you was at. I just see that now. I don't think it's been there long. Lee's had enough. And Craig is basically saying, pretty much like I was saying. So for me, in response to Craig, let me just pin this. In response to Craig, I would take Fatboy Tillemans to replace Sammy Lokonga. I would still be after a Declan Rice or a Craig Bellingham as my superstar midfield signing, because I think we're that weak certain times in that position. But let me get back to you. To replace Sammy, I'll take Fatboy from Leicester. Free transfer. To replace Nketiah, you've got Balogun doing bits at Rems, but we do know that isn't the sharpest and greatest of leagues in the world. Just hashtag on Ask Nuno Tavares. But he's definitely an option. I'd rather Endrick and Balogun. So having a front three, like we've got two strikers at the moment, I'd rather at least have three next season. Balogun, Jesus, perhaps Endrick. because he's at a beautiful age of just being 16. Ripe, fresh. That sounds terrible, isn't it? But shouts out to everyone. Please hit the like on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. And for Holding, I just said I'll take Van and Dicker, and there would be no more. The days of Ben White being a right back could be over. It'll be Tomiyasu and a new signing, someone big, like a Hakimi. I know I'm thinking real big guys. And then Ben White and Saliba battle for the right centre-back position. Gabriel and Ndicka's battle for the left-footed position. Grimaldo and Zinchenko battle out for left-back. I'm still selling to KT. I'm afraid. Unless you just give me unlimited money and then Grimaldo's out the window for me and I keep KT, guys. I'm talking in terms of finance and everything and trying to keep things realistic. Do you know what I mean? I would sell whoever's got to go, seriously. Even if it's Emile Smith-Rowe, I'm afraid to say, if that brought me a title next year or finishing literally a point behind Man City and we make them sweat the whole way, mate, I'm selling whoever we've got to give us that next level of footballer. I couldn't give a fuck. Similar to what I was saying to Manny last week, Merson had to be sacrificed at a time when I think he was fantastic at Arsenal. But for one reason or another, Wenger thought, no, I'm not going to subscribe. Sorry, Manny, no digging. I'm not subscribing. Merson never wanted to leave our club, guys, and that's as clear. Do you know what I mean? And I've even spoke to this geezer, Paul Merson, very briefly as it was, but this geezer, he was a Chelsea fan growing up, but talking to him now, real life Paul Merson, fucking gooner. Do you know what I mean? But he was actually brought up as a Chelsea fan, man. You're not sure if you was aware of that.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but it just goes to show, I mean,
Chelsea
was also, Nketiah was a Chelsea youth product, and of course now he's with the Arsenal, so just goes to show. Ironic, eh?
Yeah. No, he wasn't even, as far as I know, he wasn't ever a Chelsea youth product. He was actually just brought up. His mum, dad, everyone is just a Chelsea fan. So, like mum, like dad, he was a Chelsea fan also. And as he said, pretty much from the day he joined Arsenal, he turned red. Do you know what I mean? That's how much of an Arsenal fan he turned out to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
this boy, when Arsenal was about to get great, mate, on the Wenger, would not have wanted to leave the club. I don't know where that bit come from the other day. Literally, this boy never wanted to leave the club. And I think it was probably more, I'm afraid to say, personal life, possibly books that was probably written. Remember, Wenger's a massive believer. I'm not sure if you know this, but an autobiography should be wrote at the end of your career. Pretty much why he never released a book until the day he left Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, obviously, there was a book which I remember reading when he spoke about all of his antics as a player, and I do believe one of his biggest antics was when he,
Nightclub.
Not really. I mean, he just sort of,
gambling. I mean, he went through the whole. He pretty much went through it all, mate.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think one of his biggest pranks was when he was playing a prank on David Seaman and Lee Dixon, who were, rooming together at the time, and obviously those two were, proper professionals, never liked drinking and so forth. So apparently he thought that he and a mate of his thought that it would be a good idea to take some feces and put it on the balcony. And clearly they tried to do that when Seaman wasn't in the room. And Seaman eventually found out about it and was apoplectic as hell. I mean, that was probably the first chapter. I never really got into the to the rest of the book. But obviously Merce was a character. And I still think that, but Wenger did want him to stay, and I stand by that, and I will look up the interviews for that, and listen, some great news. I am actually able to watch the match right now on my PC due to a wonderful system. So it's not streamed, it's from my subscription account. I am on 58.39. Where are you now, mate?
I am now. I don't know. I'm watching some guys getting spun around in circles. So 58. Just say I'm on 59. Go on. Where are you?
58.48, mate. Perfect timing. So now we see. This is the guy Tosin who was tackled spinning down.
Yeah. That's what else. You're like, give me a name to tell us. But BT won't tell me, mate. There's a guy spinning. Peter Osgood, Chelsea legend. Definitely aware of him. Definitely before my time. Not sure why we said it. We're possibly talking about Chelsea players or Merson and a legend. But shouts out to you, Rodney. I have no idea why you said that. But yep, shouts out to. I'm back. Probably because we're talking about Chelsea, so yeah, just wondering why I said that. Wonderful, great, good for me. That's good. No, I'm joking.
So, I mean, obviously, now that I'm watching it properly on my computer, thanks to my broadcasting service, I'm able to watch everything a lot more clearly with the commentary I wanted. So, if I lose my TV now, I have my PC, and life is just fine and dandy, if you know what I mean.
Fucking good news, man. Loving it.
Yeah, and
I know, right? My TV's just done a nightmare to me again. Zurich was on the attack, and then it's just went backwards slightly again. Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's the thing. As long as we can, repel their attacks and force them to keep playing backwards and sideways, that's good enough. But as I say that, they're in our half right now on the left, trying to start an attack, and that
Oh,
just
here
goes
we go,
straight
mate.
through
Thomas
to
Partey and Saka
Ramsdale.
are on their way, mate. Oh, here we go. He's gone down this road again. We're 1-0 up, and he's bringing the cavalry on. Partey and Saka, mate. Oh, I tell you.
No, but here's the thing. At least he's doing the responsible thing by trying to protect the lead. He obviously does not want to see
Unless
us
unless it was agreed, Oneni couldn't play more than six. I don't know who's coming off at this second, but unless Oneni couldn't go past the 60th minute or something, it was agreed. I know he's just come back from an injury, so perhaps if it's Oneni, I'm okay with it. If it's Vieira, I'm kind of pissed off.
Well, it looks as though.
Arda scores for Fenerbahce. That is the player. I think you were lost when I started speaking about him one night on the stream. Me and Yui have been watching this guy now solidly, bruv, for 6 months. He is the Turkish next to you. He is, in fact, I'm going to go as far as to say this is Ozil. He's 17. He's an attacking midfield, centre forward, if you like. He's got an unbelievable touch. And was that Europa League, Arby? Who are Fenerbahce playing, bruv? Go on, I'll be watching that later on. I fucking can't wait to see my boy Arda score later on. Shouts out to Yui on that one. Please hit the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. And you are me. Fucking great news. I can't wait to see. Let me go check myself. Who are Fenerbahce playing? Is that him? No. Mm-hmm. Nope. Sky. So sorry, people. Fenerbahce. Yes. Yeah. Right. They're playing away at Dynamo Kiev. Fucking yes. And who's that? W. Areno De Silva. But don't worry, he's probably Turkish also. De Silva, sorry, it's Dynamo Kiev 0. Fenerbahce 2. In fact, Arda Güler, the 23rd minute, and De Silva in the 45th plus 2 minutes. So at the end of the first half, obviously.
Yeah, it is Elneny who's coming off right now, 62-01, and I think Partey will be replacing him. Good stint for the Egyptian. I was expecting Lokonga to go off because he had been clattered into
a few times. Elneny's come back from a long layoff, brother. No way. I just said if it's anyone else apart from Elneny, I'll be pissed off. No way.
Yeah, so it is Elneny, and Partey comes in, and you said there was a double substitution. I saw another person come.
And Jesus seems to be on his way up as well now. Hold on, Jesus is on his way for Saka. Yeah.
So if he leaves, then who's captaining the team? I'd say Partey, maybe.
I couldn't give a damn. I just wondered. Oh, Eddie goes up front, of course. So yeah, he goes on the wing. Sorry, it doesn't take a scientist to work that one out. My group's going mad. 100%. Tommy will start left back on Sunday, guys. Jesus can't finish. I'm not working. Struggling with this for fuck's sake. Shouts out to Lee Akers, absolute real one. Shouts out to WB, Captain Rob. I think Rob's took over the armband. That's according to WB, but WB did want to say Facundo Torres was from Argentina, in fact, the other day. That probably made Alexis Sanchez, the Brighton midfielder, that probably made him a prime Scottish player. So, do you know what I mean? But that's according to WB, do you know what I mean? Yeah, McAllister plays for Scotland. Wikipedia told me. His name is McAllister. What's wrong with you? No goal for Jesus again. Cam is turning into an absolute epidemic, Rose. I don't want to sound like a broken record. He's running around in all different positions, apart from trying to be where the ball should be, like realistically to score goals.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not going to get dropped. Nketiah, sorry, Manny, he's not going to get dropped. He's definitely not going to get dropped for Chelsea. Nketiah couldn't score on a brothel unless he wants to do a Reece Nelson to me. And like the other day, I don't know, Manny, if you noticed, I was giving it to Reece Nelson for about 10 minutes in a row, yeah. And then the bastard only came up with 2. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, Danny, listen. You weren't the only one who was apoplectic with Nelson. There are a lot of people who are saying he's been at the club for quite some time, never really proved himself, not quite good enough. We might need to cash in on him. And then he comes up from out of nowhere and turns the performance like that. But look, let's also get things in perspective, right? It was against Nottingham Forest. They're bottom of the league for a reason. They overachieved against Liverpool. They looked a right shambles. They're still a right shambles. Unless they get their act together, unless they still make a few more changes to their formation, they will get relegated. And I have to say, deservedly so. I do not have any faith in Steve Cooper's coaching style. I thought he would be good for them this season, but he has been absolutely rubbish. Sticking to the
He
same
took them
trusted
out of
players.
nowhere. Maybe, mate, they really did sign too many people because he took them out of the oblivion when he took over last year. Bruvs, they were near the bottom. And then they just went on some nutty run that took them into the playoffs and Premier League.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's the championship. Yeah, this is the Premiership.
Oh, hey! I thought Eddie was about to latch on to something.
No, not quite, not quite. So now I'm still about 10 seconds ahead of you. All is well. I am happy. Yeah, and yeah, so 65-14 right now, 15-16.
Hold on, I'm 65-48, mate. 40. I'm slightly ahead of you here.
Oh, you're still ahead of me. But anyway,
Yeah.
listen, it's all good. It's all good.
What was I going to say? No goals. I'm going to just finish this one. Cam, I know, no goals. As I said, listen, mate, he's not going to get dropped. Unless Eddie was to pop up with 2 bangers tonight, it's not even with all respect, worth thinking about topic because let me ask you, Cam, and I know you're going to probably say Martinelli. Who would you start up front against Chelsea if you wanted to give this geezer a break? I suppose it would be Martinelli, but then, mate, you're losing so much on the wing. And who else will provide you with that work rate, passion and dedication? Who else will provide you that on the left? Do you know what I mean? You could put Saka there. Vieira is not worthy of a first team start, not for me on tonight's evidence. Nelson can blow himself. Oh, again, like Manny said, congratulations, it's not on a Forest. I wasn't really sure of Zurich being so much of a promotion to not promotion as in caliber of team to Nottingham Forest. I don't really know who would win out of Zurich and Forest. I don't really care. My point being, Nelson hasn't really been for me at the races tonight. He's off and puff slightly, but I wouldn't be trying to drag him into the team against Chelsea. Nelson, fuck you. I can't really think of everyone else, but yeah.
It's the same old story, and the worst part is if Potter, gives his team a kick up the arse and has a proper team selection, who knows? The big mistake he made, of course, when he went back to the Amex was playing Cucurella as one of the 3 centre backs. Cucurella is a left wing back. End of story.
I think he was trying to basically, bros. I think he preferred. I think honestly, remember, he fuck me. Zurich has scored. Fuck you. Fuck!
I'm going to see that right now. Let me see.
Offside.
Yeah.
Offside. It's offside.
Great save from Ramsdale, but as you said, he might be offside. So I'm about 10 seconds behind you. Tables have turned, but you know what? I don't care. And you can see this is the danger. If we aren't able to step up our game, if we aren't able to keep our concentration, we will suffer.
It was a half decent by Ramsdale. I think he's giving it straight to the attacker, to be honest with you, but fuck me. Boy,
yeah,
man,
obviously, I think it was
a little bit more relaxed when you said this Zurich team could still have a bit about them. I was pretty relaxed. Maybe I was a bit ignorant, and that's just perhaps hopefully a livener. Nelson now charging on the left wing. I don't know who he's battling against. He's gone backwards though. KT is looking for an angle, slips it into the box. Obviously to Nketiah, back with KT. And Nelson, come on, man. We're going now back towards the halfway line. Come on, Arsenal, man. Where we go? Let's all go all the way back to Ramsdale, for fuck's sakes.
Okay, well, I am going to log out because my TV is back. So I'm watching on the TV, and it's 69-40 now. So all
56. We're fine. We're not that bad, bros. It's not a disaster. I only took over. I just wasn't liking what I'm seeing there at all. I'm like, yeah, now we're kicking it up in the sky. We're going long. We're a little bit lost at the second, Manny.
Yeah,
I've just gone backwards again. You'll catch me up a bit now. I've just gone backwards. I'm just seeing that kick up into the sky again from Fabio Vieira. So I've just gone backwards again. So I'm on 69-06 now. So I've just gone backwards.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm now on 70-11. So, yeah, there was a Tierney throw in, and now we see some work being done on the right side. Saka's trying to slip one into Ben White and trying to work his way through the defense. Will he concede a corner? No, he won't. But Ben White has it back. Saka's come in. Saka, come on, son. And he overruns it with his wrong foot. And it goes out for a goal kick. And I want to actually get your thoughts on this, Dan, because here's the thing. You know that Saka has more often than not always been played on the right wing, and people I think Arteta wants to see him turn into this sort of Mo Salah reincarnate, someone who can, cut right in. But a lot of people have pretty much made it clear that with Saka being so incorrigibly left-footed as he is, his best football has been on the left wing. And if he were to play in a 4-4-2, for instance, you could stick him on the left wing, and he and Martinelli would sort of interchange and go back and forth, and that really would suit him. I don't like seeing left wing.
What I'm going to back up to that is, Manny, I don't think Nelson suits a left wing. So yeah, basically you're accommodating. Bakuyoko's put PSV 2-0 up, guys. Just say it.
Man. So that's the thing. If Zurich equalise, we're fucked, as Heavy D would say.
Yes.
Pardon my French, by the way. And we've got a double substitution, more of the cavalry, Tomiyasu coming on, and also Gibraltar guard.
Sorry, Tommy and who? Because I was just looking, Linda's just put that as well. Tommy and who?
Gibraltar guard, Martin Odegaard. And so now with 20 minutes or so to go, including stoppages, Arteta has decided to bring in some reinforcements. He's already brought on Partey, he's brought on Saka, and now he'll be bringing on Tomiyasu and Odegaard. Vieira's coming off, so Odegaard comes on in place of him. And
right, surely.
Waving to the crowd like that. Odegaard asking the official to bring him on, let him go on. And then Tomiyasu's coming in. Does he come on for Ben White or does he come on for Kieran Tierney?
Hopefully Ben White.
It is Ben White.
Good man.
So there is no way that Tierney will be forced off the pitch unless he will be the last substitution, and the next one coming in might probably, I think Tierney might stay on for the whole 90 minutes. I think Arteta wants him to have
right, 90 minutes anyway, mate. Fucking here. Do you know what I mean? Round of applause. Surprised he hasn't put him at right back. Laugh out loud. Anyway, good to see. Good to see.
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I'm not talking about Nelson. I mean, Nelson obviously can't play on the left wing, so it has to be.
He is at the moment, though. He's on the left wing at the moment, my friend.
Oh, right. So maybe because I think Arteta values those players who can sort of cut in. Maybe it's sort of.
I'm just saying the point. Yeah, I'm just making the point of when Saka comes on, that I would have tried him on the left for the last 20 minutes tonight. Would have been a harm in it. I was just sort of it was a bit of both points there I was making. I would have thrown him on the left, see how he does there for a little while. But no, he has to accommodate, obviously, Saka by shifting Reece over. But anyway, whatever.
Well, Reece actually plays a pass forward to Nketiah down the left. Nketiah is now in the penalty area. It goes back to Nelson. I think Odegaard wanted to try and have a swipe at that, and the flag is up for offside. So let's see what Odegaard does in this game. And, there was an interesting chat earlier on about somebody asking about how many pre-assists there would be. I suppose we could count Vieira's blocked shot as a pre-assist in some way because it went off the defenders and then went into Tierney's path. And there was this ridiculous tweet that was brought about how influential Odegaard is because of his goals, assists, and then pre-assists and pre-assists.
I'm not
pre-passes.
Pre-pass bullshit assists. I'm not really into them at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that is stupid. It really is. It's just a poor excuse from people to try to justify.
Sorry, Ross, give me a minute check. I was jumping in and out again. Go on, give me a minute check.
74, 49, 50, 51.
All right, so I'm 74, 47. So I'm literally just,
You're back.
Because what it was, even though I was ahead of you, every certain little while it was going back 5-6 seconds. It was driving me mad. I was seeing things twice, man, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But shouts out to you, Manny. It's been, as always, a pleasure. Arsenal still 1-0 up, clearly, obviously, as you do. And,
starting to get a bit foggy right now at the Emirates, or is that just a smoke cloud of sorts?
I'm not sure. I'm going to look at other scores. I'm on Arda Güler check. Not exactly watch, but Arda Güler check. Still 2-0 for Fenerbahce. I'm definitely going to be catching the Fenerbahce game later to see how my mate Arda Güler gets on. I think
Yeah,
that's
you
a,
do that. You do that. You do
he's
that.
17 and he's on about his fourth goal this season in Turkey. He's 17 years old. He's doing
Oh,
decent
that's
for
brilliant.
Fenerbahce. And they're
That's
not
awesome.
exactly
That's
like
awesome.
Istanbul Budukça or something, with no disrespect to anyone. I'm just saying they're a big Turkish team for Fenerbahce, so it's got to be harder to get into their team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that. I get that completely.
17
And
year old.
oh man, yeah.
Meanwhile,
Earlier on, the Swiss keeper Brescia sort of coming out and clearing it, and then getting apoplectic at his defense. I think Zurich sense that they can score an equalizer, but they're going to have to work really hard to get it. But I'll tell you, if they do get an equalizer, it'll be a kick in the fucking teeth. It really will.
this certainly would be Manny. Well said. That would be no way. Come on, man. This is Zurich here. Like, come on, man. I can't believe we're not 2-3 up by now. Do you know what I mean? With all respect, I can't believe we're not. Away. This match should be done by the 76th minute. This match should be done and dusted.
You bet. You bet. You bet. Now
It makes
Zurich
me
are bringing
worry
on a
for
couple of
Chelsea.
players.
It will
Zurich,
hopefully be a totally
yeah.
different Arsenal when we get on the field against Chelsea. Hopefully, it will be a totally different Arsenal.
Yeah, I get that. And they brought on Hornschuh for Saleas. That's one of a double substitution. The second one going off will be Tosin. I think he's been, tackled quite a bit. He was the one who spun around on the floor, and he's being replaced by Viennick. Now, some of these players have names I've never even heard of before. I want to make sure the pronunciation is right. But to be honest, we're not going to know any more about them. We're not going to see them in the Conference League. Doesn't really matter. But they're still attacking right now, though. So we could see one of their names being well known. Back pass by Tomiyasu to Ramsdale. Kicks it all the way up. And Saka nearly had it. It is with Saka right now, but the referee has blown his whistle. And, oh, man. Elite's on the floor right now, writhing and holding his head. Was there a clash of heads here? Ooh, some pretty dangerous play there from the star boy, who sort of arched his leg up and caught Elite in his face right there, going to the ground as if he'd been shot, and he's still lying down. But he was tugging on Saka's shirt, at least not as dangerously as Giorgio Chiellini did in the Euro 2020 final. And the worst part, sometimes the worst part about doing commentary like this, Danny, is that, with the television on mute, I can't really hear what the commentator's saying. So there might be something going on that I can't quite be fully aware of. And but it is what it is. I mean, this is also good fun. And we see Zinchenko warming up. He could be the fifth substitution. And it looks as though he will be coming on for Kieran Tierney, who's had a terrific 80 minutes so far. Kept for the goal.
Hold on a second, Manny. Right, mismanagement by Arteta. How have you made such hard work of this? And not what we needed ahead of Chelsea. I was literally just saying that, mate. But hopefully, because it's Chelsea, mate, hopefully totally different Arsenal going to turn up. Interesting, Manny's just said Zinchenko's on his way on. 12 minutes to see if he's going to be, let's say, if you like, fit. So we can not see Tomiyasu at left back. I don't have any problems with Tomiyasu at left back, but he's not really an attacking right back. So when he goes to left back, he looks even more uncomfortable for me going forward. So I don't want to see Tommy at left back. So I would say brilliant if Zinchenko can come on and grab a few minutes. For some reason, I just feel he definitely won't play KT no matter what at left back.
Here's the thing about Tomiyasu at left back. I really don't like him because, look, it was a horses for courses pick. A nice shot from outside the area from the substitute, Viennick, that just flew over the bar. With 10 minutes to go, there's a sting in the tail, but have they won a corner? Let's see. Jinking in, and, from the looks of it, he certainly hasn't won a corner, but that shot wasn't too far away, and Ramsdale was beaten. So Zurich are coming at us. They're coming at us. They're coming at us. It is, in fact, a goal kick. So Max Tomiyasu, his selection against Liverpool was more of a horses for courses pick, yeah, because obviously Arteta thought that he wanted to have someone bigger and taller who could try and shut down Mo Salah, and it worked well for the most part, because although Saka was coming back into the game a little bit later, he still couldn't find that much in terms of joy. But then, he picked Tomiyasu again for the next few Premier League games, And there were moments when he absolutely looked like a duck out of water, even defensively, playing a few errant passes. So this is one
Yeah.
of the reasons why I can never abide with Arteta. He thinks he he sort of thinks that he's far too cleverer than he actually is. Whether it's
Yes.
the false nine against Villarreal or something like this, he
Yep.
tries something. If it works, it works. He looks really intelligent. If it doesn't work, he looks like a right plonker, and he doesn't even wish to take responsibility for the decisions he makes.
Well, yeah.
So this particular decision to play Tommy at left back, some people might say it's a means of managing KT and not giving him too much in terms of game time, not wanting
Bullshit.
to risk him getting injured. But tactically, why would you want to play someone who is another square peg in a round hole? You already have one square peg in Ben White. You now have another square peg on the other flank. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. And maybe maybe he doesn't want to see his wing backs overlap too much, but ironically, White's been overlapping beautifully. Tomiyasu doesn't overlap either on the right or the left.
All the
So,
Yep.
so yeah, Krasnici's come on for Zurich, the number 7, and Arsenal are still attacking. Credit to them. People think we're ready for the Champions League. You've said it, Lee. People think that, but clearly we're not. And even if we qualify in 4th place and get some decent players, it will be interesting to see if we gel together. I don't know.
As I
Improve the
say,
quality of play.
there's one way of doing this properly, though. If you want to start trying to get free transfer, and I don't disagree with any transfers like a Grimaldo or an Indika, but I'm saying if you're trying to get Tillemans to be your third midfielder, the guy that I'm telling you that's the competition for Partey and Xhaka, I don't think it's good enough. You've got to bring same level, if not preferably better. Declan Rice or a Bellingham ticks that box. Fuck it, let's just go with Bellingham. Rice, he's got to be that much bit cheaper. Word from Germany is they're resigned to losing their geezer in the summer. They want 150 million euros, which is 129 million pounds. Pretty similar to what I said on this stream the other day. I said it would be 110, 120, 130. Allegedly, word is 129 for your boy. Man United apparently have made inroads on they bidding for Declan Rice, but if you read between the lines of a couple of things Declan Rice has said, guys, Declan seemed to be, how would you put it? Not thinking about Man United, if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I'm not sitting there with Declan Rice, and I don't really know what's in his head. But when he kind of got asked about links with Man United, he was kind of like it wasn't a tight lip. It just seemed to be like he wasn't that interested for me. So
yeah. So we just seen Reece Nelson making a run up the left, and he was tackled by the defender Katic. They've conceded a corner from the looks of it. I was expecting the referee to award them a free kick, but that wasn't forthcoming. So Nelson with the corner, right-footed in swinger. Doesn't find anyone, and that can be cleared. And in fact, somehow, after some pinball, it goes back to the goalkeeper, Brescia, who is able to roll it out.
Actually, a good tackle by the Zurich defender. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was a decent tackle. It was a decent tackle, and he conceded a corner out of it. But now Zurich are attacking down the left, and doesn't really find anyone there. But they now switch to the right. The number 19 for Zurich rather has it, and now that's also whacked sky high into the air and over, and a corner is conceded. So the party's starting to fall flat. Thomas with an awkward clearance there, and Arsenal are not out of danger yet. Let me tell you that right now.
I'm going to flip out because my TV is just doing that continuous going backwards again. So I'm just flipping out. Carry on, Manny, as you was.
I do apologise. Listen, is that a streaming TV or what's the story?
Nah, don't worry. No, it's my magical box, bro. It's my magical box. You can watch everything. This is 3 p.m. kickoffs. This is everything. But sometimes it likes to just piss around. It will just, as I say, inexplicably tonight it wants to just go back every little while. It's going back 6 seconds, and it's just.
And so no offside there. There's an attack down the left. Cross put in, but Tierney's there to sort of head it up, and that can be headed away.
Give me a minute. Minute check.
80, 85, 16, 17, 18.
All right, 85-5. So yeah, I can live with this again. Ooh.
Beautiful. As long as we're on the same minute, we are good to go. And you can see an attack being made, breaks the offside trap, and can't find his man. So I mean, listen, we shouldn't be struggling like this. It's very easy to say, look, we've done what we needed to do, and it's a 1-0 lead so far.
Manny, everyone that's with me and Manny, as we're getting towards the end of the game, I'd like to man of the match award. Oh, sorry, award. Sorry, you know what I mean, guys. Your opinion of man of the match, shithole of the match, and who needs improvement. So, who's had an absolute stinker? Who's the man of the match? And who's just say no more, but we'll call him the say no more section. For me, say no more would be Fabio Vieira. I'm not getting it. He's played a few games. He's had minutes. He's looking even lighter and lighter weight rather than getting stronger. Started off reasonably. Do you know what I mean? Was it Wolves away? I can't remember where he scored that banger, but
Brentford, not Wolves. Brentford.
He's dropped. Hold on, he's dropped ever since. Absolute stinker for me. As for the whole season, I'm not aiming on the guy, but 100 grand a week, you can go fuck yourself, mate. Thierry on re-shirt, you can further go fuck yourself, mate. Nketiah, you are the stinker of the match. Man of the match for me.
Who else, laddie?
Very slightly. It's got to be KT. So KT man of the match. Nketiah is the prickhole of the match, and Fabio Vieira. Oh my God! Here comes Cedric Suarez. Whatever happened to Zinchenko?
No, it's not Zinchenko. It's Tomiyasu who's just taken the knock and he's going off. And I think this is a precaution. So Cedric will be coming in and he will have a few minutes to see to show us what he can do. Not even 3 minutes plus stoppages. So
no, I don't want to see and I hope he's absolutely fine. But good, I don't want to see you at left back come Chelsea. Bollocks. I don't want to see you at left back.
I do not think Cedric will play at left back. If Tommy,
no, Tommy, brother. I don't want to see him at left back for Chelsea.
Oh, neither do I. But we all know that Arteta will bring him in at left back, and despite the fact that, as I've said, he's looked on occasions like a duck out of order defensively, Arteta sticks to his guns. He believes his own intelligence, believes his own hype, and that's why for me.
Manny, stop. Sorry. If you look at Tomiyasu's face, I don't know. Feeling as a motherfucker, he looks upset. I don't think it's upset because he's going to miss 4 minutes against Zurich. I don't know. Feeling as a motherfucker, he knows his body. Do you know what I mean? That could be something else there. He looked visually really upset. He looked pissed off.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't miss the World Cup because his teammate Yuta Nakayama, who plays for Huddersfield Town, I was delighted that he made the World Cup squad, and I actually am good mates with a guy who owns the Huddersfield Town Fan TV on YouTube. He runs that. His name's Ryan Mather, good mate of mine. Just recently got to know him. And I was about to speak to him about how pleased he would have been for Nakayama, but then I read on BBC Sport that his Achilles injury means that he's out. So if Tomiyasu gets another injury and he gets out, there's going to be a lot of patchwork to be done. And Zurich on the attack right now. Does it find the man? No, it doesn't. Desperate defending over there. But the number 20, Viniak, just keeps it in play, but Suarez can intercept. But it finds a Zurich player. Actually, it doesn't go out of play. Actually, Suarez might have kicked that out of play because of the Zurich throw. So Zurich is still attacking. And it's still on the left. Krasniqi now with the ball, trying to get into the penalty area. He gets into the penalty area, has to come up against Suarez. Does he take it out of play? No, he doesn't. He keeps it in. So the attack continues. You've got to play to the whistle. You cannot... And they win a throw-in. Kieran Tierney, once again, outstanding work at left back. There's a reason why we've made him our man of the match, not just because of the goal. He's looked a lot more solid, albeit against Zurich. And look, he did have a stinker against PSV, but none of the players in that game can hold their heads up and say they had a good game.
Right.
Ramsdale,
sorry. Yeah, go on.
Ramsdale, I mean, none of the players in that PSV game can hold their hand up and say they played well. Ramsdale had an absolute stinker, in my opinion, and he has ambitions of being England's number one ahead of Jordan Pickford. Dream on, mate. You're nowhere near his league.
KT from Cam. We've got KT from Cam. I take it man of the match. Do you want to add a stinker of the match, Cam? Lee, who is your man of the match? Who is your stinker of the match, mate?
Well, speak of the devil, Tierney has just gone down. The number 10 from Zurich, stamping on his foot. And that's not a very serious injury necessarily, except, you have that feeling when people put their studs into your foot. It's disgusting.
It's Scottish, don't worry, Braveheart.
Yeah. Shake it
Oh,
off, Kieran, mate. Shake it off. And there are 5 minutes of added on time. 1 minute has been played, so we could very well go on a bit further. So listen, we are not out of the woods yet. We are not out of the woods yet. And I think if the PSV go on to uh, uh, yep, through that defensive wall, straight into the goal, and you can see
for
how
fuck's
delighted he
sake.
was to score that. I love this kid, I really do.
Oh,
And
what's going on here with Tierney, bruvs? For fuck's sakes.
yeah,
And
I told you.
fully agree with Cam. Carnage says, man of the match KT stinker. Nketiah, say no more.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and yeah, the worst part is that now with Arsenal having used all their 5 substitutes, I don't think they can bring anyone else on.
Mate, if Tommy's injured, the way he was shaking his head, he looked injured to me. Look at KT right now, looks half dead on the floor. I tell you what the fuck? Now we've got no left back for Chelsea. What's going on here?
No, but wait a minute. He's standing upright. He's sort of walking back. It was just a case of the player slamming his studs into his foot. I think he's sort of recovered from that. He'll be fine. No nerve damage. All good to go. And now Arsenal have an attack. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Whipping into the penalty area. Does he find Nketiah? He does, but Nketiah just glances that behind for a goal kick. So there's a reason why Nketiah has had a stinker so far. He did have one good chance that was saved by the Zurich keeper, but apart from that, nothing else. No real dice. So, yeah.
Shouts out to Lee Akers absolutely giving it on the group. Lee, I'll take a look at everything shortly. Lee Akers absolutely came nuts on the group. I love it. I'll take a look at all of that soon after I'm off the street, guys.
Zurich throw, and Gabriel has looked a bit decent, as is Holding, but there have been a few moments when they've been able to get inside the defense, and Tierney hasn't really been at fault. And as I've said, Tierney didn't have Tierney had a bad game, but so did everyone against PSV, and so you can't single him out for just not really playing his best that day. So I want to see Tierney get more games. I want to see him win back his rightful spot at LB. I do not. If I never see Tomiyasu there at left back again, it'll be too soon. Let me tell you that.
That's right. I couldn't agree more of that. I don't want to see Tommy at left back. I'm worried that we will be shit against Chelsea. Shouts out to Hussein Druma's now up and running on the group.
Yeah. By the way, listen, I want to ask you, that mate of yours who came on for a stream before I started coming on, what's his name? The one with the Palestine shirt.
Oh, Hazard.
Yeah, Hazard. Hope, man, maybe, he can join us on one of our streams and we can have a sort of a 3-way chat.
I'm sure you'd love that, in fact. I'm sure you would. Where is Hazard?
Yes. Right, so you see right there was an attack on the right side. The substitute, Viniuk, at the heart of it. Actually, it was number 10 who was there. Right, straight through the defense, and Ramsdale was able to get that. In fact, had Viniuk gotten a hold of that, beaten Ramsdale to that, it would have been trouble. But 1 minute to go before the stoppage time ends, although we could have another minute given the injuries that have come in. And Nelson wins it back now. It's with Nketiah, who can just try and take it to the corner flag. The Zurich defense says no, and Nketiah concedes a foul. And a little bit of argy-bargy going on there between Nelson and the Zurich defender.
So I'm just seeing Ramsdale jumping on the ball, etc. Back to Hazard. Yeah, Hazard's quite a regular streamer with me. I wouldn't say he comes on when things goes wrong. As soon as there's something that we need to address, he'll sort of text me, Dan, I need to come on. So Hazard comes pretty much as he wants to, really. Like, not that I couldn't call him on at the drop of a hat. I could call him on pretty much tonight, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he's one of them guys. There's no like pre-thinking anything. We just like, I don't know, Arteta, when I was going nuts quite a lot about Arteta a little while ago, Hazard would kind of be there, not sort of just sticking up for Arteta, but sort of more believing in the process or trusting it a bit more than Neely say. Having players backs like a Lacazette. There was obviously a bit of a joke about that for a little while, but Hazard's a real one. He's a G, like, so yeah, I'm sure you'd love to do a stream with both of us. I'll
Yeah,
put that.
because here's the thing. Because I'm thinking, obviously after this week, we're not going to have any Europa League games for a long time. So I was thinking that maybe at least on one Thursday, it could be the three of us, and we could sort of have a back and forth that way. It wouldn't be just you and me. It would be,
Yeah,
uh,
perfect. Yeah. I'm sure.
ooh, Katic with that header. Had it been on target, that would have put the cat amongst the pigeons. Beautiful free kick, whipped right in, no offside, everyone's perfectly on, and Ramsdale was beaten. He was never saving that. And the Zurich manager is not happy. And has the referee blown his whistle? We played 6 minutes and 13 seconds of stoppage time. He should blow the whistle soon, and clearly Arteta isn't too happy. But I would assume that once Ramsdale sends this kick into oblivion, that will be the end of that. And that is the no, it isn't the end of that.
Lord have mercy. Sorry, I'm just seeing the free kick, obviously. Jesus. Fuck me.
You know what? You know what? We might have topped the group and gone through, but let me tell you something. Anyone who believes that we will go far in the Europa League on the basis of these performances, get your heads examined.
Yeah, mate. That's what
Christ's
I'm saying.
sake.
People say we're better than Juventus Barcelona. I think Barcelona and Juventus fans will have a bit to say about that, to be honest with you, but there you go.
Oh, you bet, you bet, you bet. And I'll tell you what, I know that Bellerin might be, I don't know if he's injured right now. I mean, his last game
Hey,
for
he's
Barcelona.
good. He's good. I've seen Barcelona's last. Oh, the one. No, he's played the last two full 90 minutes. I've watched the last Barcelona. Well, Barcelona's last two games. He's been there. He's
Okay,
played.
so what?
He's
So,
right.
so
I'm not going to say
we
he's
should,
established, but he's played the last two games. Sorry, League and Champions League.
right. So probably he's not established, but if you've seen him play, what do you think of him? Because if he were to come up against us,
He got murdered.
boy, oh boy, that would be epic.
He got absolutely fucked over by Mane for Bayern Munich's first goal, but that happens, I suppose. But apart from that, he was the sort of Bellerin. He was Bellerin. He was 6.5, 7. He was Bellerin. Not brilliant, not shit. He was Bellerin, actually, to be honest with you. So that's the truth of it there. I didn't see no massive improvement. Yeah, he's definitely playing for the badge, but he's Bellerin, I think. That's about it.
Yeah. And he's certainly not the best poster boy for veganism if he's not really able to stay strong and keep his feet on the ground, if you know what I mean.
There you go. But guys, that is a close. That's a close to these groups. Pretty much, sorry to say, thank God. Games like this, if it wasn't for Man, I could have dropped in the 70th minute. Like this was kind of it's not the liveliest of games. And I say here and bring on the knockouts now. Do you know what I mean? Do you know by any chance when the draws are now, man? Straight onto the draws for the knockouts now, man.
Let me take a look at that and see, because obviously I want to take a look at the.
Guys, tonight for me, Kieran Tierney is the man of the match. The stinker, the complete condom of the night has to be Eddie Nketiah. 100 grand a week. He must be always bang bang. He's loving it anyway. So do you know what? Absolute congratulations to you, Eddie. In terms of goals, 0. I don't know.
Yeah, so.
Don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to find out when the dates are. Yeah, the draw for the knockout round playoffs will be held on the 7th of November, so 3 days from now. And the first legs will be played on 16th of February. This is for the knockout round playoffs, okay? So all of those teams that have come down into from the Champions League, okay?
So keep a day, though. I'm going to get Hazard for a day, obviously. I'm not saying it has to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that. Me, you, and Hazard will discuss the Europa League draw, the knockout draw. We'll discuss that.
You bet. Absolutely, you bet. So at the moment, the group winners are as such: Arsenal, Fenerbahce, Real Betis, Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium, Real Sociedad, Feyenoord Rotterdam, SC Freiburg, and Ferencváros from Hungary. And the runners-up are Eindhoven, Rennes. I don't know who's the runner-up from Group C yet. It could be Roma. It could be another team. I don't know. Union Berlin, Manchester United, Midtjylland from Denmark, Nantes, and Monaco. And these teams will come up against Ajax, Bayer Leverkusen, Barcelona, Sporting Club de Portugal, Red Bull Salzburg, Shakhtar Donetsk, Sevilla, and Juventus. So Barcelona, Juventus, certainly Ajax maybe, and Sporting CP. these 3 or 4 teams could give any of these teams a run for their money, and whoever we face, it won't be easy. So, yeah. So obviously the knockout round playoffs don't concern us because we qualified top of the group. That will be on the 7th of November, which is
Fuck that
today,
shit.
a Monday, I think. Yeah, Monday. And the draw for the round of 16 will be on the 24th of February, with the first legs to be played on the 9th of March and the second legs on the 16th of March. So we don't have any more Europa League action until February and March, and that is pretty much it. And of course, next week we will be in on Carling Cup duty. Wednesday evening kickoffs, no Thursday night football for us, as far as I can tell. So whenever we meet on Thursday, there's not going to be any watch along. It'll be just you and me and maybe
You
Hazard
can do
talking
a
about a
league
few
game
things.
if you want, Manny. I don't mind covering a couple of League Cup games. I find them quite boring in the early stage as well. But if you're about, a couple of League Cup games. That performance is horrible. Edu has to sign some players in January, and Arsenal do need a new director of the club. I doubt very we're going to get new directors, brother, but new players, let's hope, innit? I wonder if the ones incoming, allegedly, Danilo and Facundo Torres, are good enough. I don't think they're immediately players that can run into a championship race anyway. Danilo does look good, defensive midfielder, Brazil, Palmeiras. I still think we're barking up the wrong tree. We're barking in the right direction in Brazil. We're definitely barking in the right direction in Palmeiras. Wrong player for me, though. It should be Endrick we're making inquiries about. A young, talented striker. He's scoring goals. He's 16, for fuck's sake, and scoring goals first team. Let's be having a piece. We're going to play.
Yeah. And you know what? Hopefully Edu doesn't come up with some sort of a kickback payment just to get him to join us like he did with Marquinhos.
Well, I actually wouldn't give a fuck, mate. Do you know what? Do what you got to do out here. Do you know what I mean? I actually wouldn't give a fuck. Just get the boy in. Agree to pay him like in splibs, slabs, installments, potatoes. You do whatever you got to do, mate. Just get the boy done. Do you know what I mean? Nketiah, bruvs. He played bruvs. Listen, he needs to be getting goals, mate. £100,000 a week. Shouts out to you, Don Nketiah. He needs goals. Yes, this left wing. I hate what Arteta is doing to him and various other people when Tommy has been at left back, Don Nketiah. But mate, he's not providing much, man. He needs to score, man. He's literally, for me, in important games anyway, he's got 0. He might have won Europa League or something goal under his belt, but I don't know. He's not ripping up no trees for me, brother. I did expect more. I have to be frank. I expected him to be on the dizzy heights of at least 5 goals right about now. In saying that, though, Jesus is fucking really, really quieting down, and I get that. You must be kind of sitting there thinking, well, maybe it's time for Eddie to get a start. If Eddie had come on and maybe not come on, if Eddie had scored 2 little goals tonight, a couple of little crackers, do you know what I mean? Either side of half time. I don't care if they're a minute after each other. I'm saying if Eddie scores a couple tonight, mate, you never know. Because we know he's done all right at Chelsea before Eddie. Who knows? But for me, he didn't do enough tonight for him to deserve starting against Chelsea. I'm not saying Jesus should be automatic starter like this, but at this present moment, he seems to be that 45 million pound star boy, even though he's not quite playing like it. Who is the coach of Zurich? Hashtag Ask Manny. I have no idea, mate. Hashtag Ask Manny, brother.
You are asking the wrong person at the wrong time, but actually quite not, because I do have Wikipedia on right now. Let me just click right now and see who the coach is. I'm sure people
young blonde head geezer. I was watching him. He's quite
yeah. His name is Bo Henriksen from Roskilde in Denmark. Sort of not really outstanding club career. Played in England for Kidderminster Harriers and Bristol Rovers, among other teams, and then ended his career with the Brøndby back in Denmark. Then moved into coaching with the Brøndby, and then Midtjylland, and now FC Zurich for this season. So this season he's seen FC Zurich. They're sort of 10th in their 10-team league. One very close to the relegation playoffs right now, so things aren't looking too well for them. But I think I don't know if they're going to give him a chance to continue till the end of the season, because to go from champions to last in the table is not really good. I mean, can you imagine if we were top of the league right now, and next season we'd end up being bottom of the league under Arteta? Boy, oh boy, there'd be hell to pay.
I'm just popping to get my charger. My computer's alerted me that my battery wants to run out on me. Live on stream, that wouldn't be very nice, would it?
No, it wouldn't be nice at all. But listen, I'd keep the StreamYard link open and wait for you to come back. You know
That
that.
would not be the one. Hold on, don't worry. Apple charger in hand. Microphone, get out of the way. So sorry, people. Microphone, come over
Oh,
here. Don and Ketia, though, shouts out to you. Please hit likes on the video, guys. Shouts out to Liakas, to Hank Yumi, to Hazza, to Linda, to
Don
Hazza,
and Ketia.
to
Played
Money, to
well.
myself, to Craig, to Cam, to Gemma, all the real ones on the stream. Shouts out a few of the old school people, Chris Hay, Robson, um, Tiger King Braun. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to Blazer, old school. That performance angered me, was it? It certainly did. It angered me. Well, for me, Lee, it irked me. So we've got angered, we've got irked. And what's this? Why our second team is not playing well? Hashtag Ask Manny. Well, brother, let me ask you first. First of all, it's a mixture number. I wouldn't call this a second team. Would be Nelson, Marquinhos, Nketiah, the front three, and it would be blatantly. I suppose it would be Vieira. All right, I'll give you that. I don't know, bros. Before we ask Manny, are they good enough then? Fabio Vieira, I don't know. Nketiah, another blank. Anyone screaming for Nketiah to start against Chelsea, I certainly wouldn't be one of them. Yes, it still annoys me that then it's automatically Gabriel Jesus's spot, and he hasn't scored in possibly 6-7 games now. But I still wouldn't be playing the Don of Nketiah's. And as I say, all over the pitch, like again, without putting a final line on it, we're that couple of injuries still away from disaster. If you was to take that, I find unreplaceable people in this team right about now. Saka, Martinelli. Thank fuck Martinelli didn't get involved tonight. He's needed a rest for more than a sharp minute. Saka as well tonight. Of not really coming on. The boys almost had an injury scare as well last week. Like, give him a break, give him the whole night off, let him sit back, smoke a spliff, and watch it on Sky Sport on BT or something. Like, you know. I don't know. Yes, important game, but surely he's risking too many people. Marquinhos could have been around tonight as he totally lost faith in him. Nelson obviously star of the minute because of the 2 against Forest, but he didn't really produce the goods tonight. And Ketia left wing, not good enough for me. Just saying, guys. But we are top. We are through. All good. And as Manny said, that's the 7th of November now. I'm actually looking forward to the draw because at least now there's no holding back. There's no bullshitting around. There should be no more boring away games with all respect to Zurich or Bodo fucking Glimt or Gimp or whatever you want to call them. It is now decent teams we're playing going forward. Manny?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, that draw on the 7th of November will be for the playoffs, so we're not going to be involved there. We can actually put our feet up until February and March and say, that's our Europa League business done and dusted. It's interesting. It's easy to say that, of course, it'll be just the 2-game playoff. But if I were in Manchester United's shoes, I would not want to come up against Barcelona or Juventus. Take that from me. So we've dodged we've dodged a bullet. We've avoided a banana skin, but in a way, I probably would have preferred it in some ways if we had somehow been held to a draw and ended up finishing second, because that would sort of force us to take a look at where we are and at least realize that, we can't continue like this. We cannot keep running on fumes like this. And of course, come January onwards, we're going to have games coming thick and fast. Premier League, EFL Cup, FA Cup, as you would say, do. I mean, I've learned that from this sort of thing from you, how you do that, yeah?
You're lovely. Who are our most possible opponents in the next? Who are our possible opponents? Sorry, in the next round. Hashtag Ask Manny.
Oh, possible opponents. Listen, that's all going to depend on the draw that takes place in February, and of course,
we can't. Hold on. There's the playoffs still to go, isn't there? So that isn't sort of written yet, if that makes any sense. So
yeah, listen. So
yeah, we're not going to know that yet. I think at least for the playoffs.
We won't know that until February when the draw is being done. Yeah, and that is when we have an idea of which teams will be joining us in the last 16 out of those playoff teams. So once we find out, we could pretty much start to speculate. But here's the thing. I mean, if I were Arteta right now, I really wouldn't be too happy because, look, we got the 1-0 win, but in moments when we lose our concentration and play a few stinkers, if once we do that, stronger teams will take advantage of us. We were lucky, mind you, that we were up against a team which is now 10th in their domestic league, dead last, and which has ended up being dead last in this qualifying group. Had that been Eindhoven or any other decent team, we would have been skewered. That was
One
disgraceful.
moment, Manny. 1 second. 1 second. Right. No way, Dan. It's not 16-year-olds that we need. It's players to come in and make an immediate impact. Now, 99.9%, I totally agree with you, Lee. But here is the 0.1. Here's the 0.1, Lee. How many of these guys are we going to hear from way back in the day? Ibrahimovic was 16 and could have signed for us. Neymar could have signed for us. Ronaldo was at our training ground. We had agreed an £8.8 million pound deal. And then Man United gazumped us with 12.6 million. And obviously, the rest is history. He went to Old Trafford. I don't want to hear this no more. And I don't want to be linked to this kid for him then to go just to the usuals, the Barcelona, the Real Madrid, or worst all, because it will right piss me off, a Man City. And then in a season or two, he's absolutely fucking balling it by the time he's fucking not even fully out of puberty and 18 years old. And he's murking it all over the Premier League of Spain. So, yes, I agree that financially it's probably a risk we're not going to do and won't do. I get it. Or I don't get it, but I mean, I hear it. But for me, Lee, if you have any faith in Balogun, if you have any faith in Eddie Nketiah, you've already spent 45 on Gabriel Jesus, yeah. And then there is the Nicolas Mollages or Mollars, whatever, Nicolas Mollar or Beerafs, whatever the kids on loan in Holland right about now. I don't really have faith in them anyway. I don't know. I've not seen them anyway to really pass a judgment. What I'm saying is, though, Lee, there's certain kids out there, like, how about this Flores? He's hit 19 now. He's got 3 caps, like Manny was saying earlier, for Mexico. There's the Omar Rekik, that's an actual regular, even though he's injured at the moment, for Tunisia. I get it. It's, again, with all respect, it's just Tunisia. But, mate, just to get into my point, we haven't got that many good kids in our team, have we, mate? Or is it just Arteta won't play them? Do you know what I mean? Coutinho possibly could come back next season. Will Arteta actually play him, though? Because it will be Champions League, obviously our group at the start. And if he doesn't trust players in the fucking Europa League groups against fucking Partick Thistle and Dun fucking Dork, how the fuck is he going to play them against half decent or very good teams, in a Champions League situation? So we need a couple of exceptional kids somewhere coming in along the line, bro, because Coutinho, I reckon he probably could come in. But again, that goes back to you're selling Emil Smith-Rowe or one of the, it doesn't have to be an academy product. I don't think Vieira is going to go anywhere just yet. And Odegaard is the number 10. Coutinho is kind of more of an attacking mid. If you're looking to bring him in next season, are we going to have 4 players fighting for that position? Odegaard, Coutinho, Vieira, and Emil Smith-Rowe. Someone for me has to drop out. Going to defence, Austin Trusty, Birmingham City. He is looking good. He's left-footed as well. Not that, yes, it's the fourth coming of God himself being left-footed, but Arteta does like having the continuity, of a left-footed, right-footed defender. So could Trusty come in that battle with Gabriel? Probably, hopefully. He's ever present for Birmingham. He's scoring goals. If he's a late shout for USA in the World Cup, absolutely fantastic, but it might be a bit early for him on that one. Right-footed centre-backs. I'm talking now overall. I know I'm giving you a whole big speech, but I'm talking, if you want the club to go forward, bros, let's stop having Ben White at right back. Let's make him, you've either lost your place or you start ahead of Saliba. For me, Saliba starts. He's a right-footed centre-back. You make a battle with him. Yeah? You bring in someone alongside Tommy. I mean, an attacking someone in my preference. Hakimi might be a little bit overthinking and overdreaming, but then you find me someone else then in the 20, 30 million pound range, like Newcastle did with Kieran Trippier, and it was a right fucking treat for them. Do you know what I mean? Also could take a free kick. We need a decent right back that attacks. On to left back. It could stay the same. Zinchenko, KT, I think that's enough. If it comes to a financial decision, one's got to go, or we know who would go. It would be, unfortunately, KT. I'm talking that's only if it's a financial situation. Same way with Emil Smith-Rowe in the midfield. Bro, we've got to go better in different ways. And for me, you need 1 or 2 class players in the summer. For me, my preference on this, we spoke about it 100 times. It would be the Mudryk kind of Declan Rice kind of thing. And then I'd like to see a couple of young, really good up-and-coming players. I'd like to see a Danilo perhaps join. I'd like to take both of them from Power Mary's then. How's about that? Danilo and Hendrick. I don't care if it's going to cost whatever £1 million. Do it as a drug deal, tick, finance, anything. You know, do it on credit. I don't give a fuck how it has to be done. Do you know what I mean? If you have to sell people, then I'm also willing for that. I don't mind selling Rob Holding. I don't mind because, as I say, I've already figured out my 4 defenders for next season. Van and Dick are coming on a free. Gabriel Magalouche, Ben White, Saliba. That's your 4 centre backs for next season. Zinchenko Tierney or Zinchenko Grimaldo. That's your left backs for next season. Right back, Tomiyasu and somebody. So we obviously know we need a somebody here. If Turner does want to act up and he wants to be a number 1, give me £7.5 million Bradford L. You can fuck off as well. But anyway, we're not arguing about that at this moment. If you think El Neni isn't good enough for you, Lee, and I take it if El Neni ain't good enough, then certainly Lukonga ain't good enough. We need 2 central midfielders for me because we're going to be playing Champions League midfield. So in that case, it's Xhaka, Partey, Rice, and then possibly Tielemans because you couldn't get a Rice and a Bellingham. Sorry. And again, 2 winners of absolute superstar quality is not enough to win the league, top 4, Champions League, etc., FA Cup, League Cup. We need to add someone of absolute quality on the wing. My preference again, Mudrak. If you want a cheap option for a 4th winger, yeah, even fucking go and sell Marquinhos, go do whatever, yeah, and then go and give it to Zaha on a signing on fucking fee and a free transfer at the end of the season. We need better, or at least as good as what we've got going forward. Now, to nail your final question, Lee, you said we need people for right now. If you have faith in Balogun, in Nketiah, which I'm probably obviously not sure you do, Jesus, whatever, I don't see why Endrick as the 4th striker should be scaring any Gunners fans right now. In fact, I think he could be better than Balogun and Nketiah already and ready to come in and actually maybe have a shout for the first team. Guys, please leave the likes on the video. Do subscribe if you're new. Lee, what do you think of that whole, literally, I think about a 4 or 5 minute speech I just gave to you? Sorry, Manny, 2 seconds before you could jump back in. Nketiah was like a firework. You expect it will go off with a bang, and then you realise it was a dud firework. Pretty much. I like that. That's nice, Craig. Very good, very good. And Manny, are you from the UK? From Hanchumi?
I will answer your question, Hanchumi. I was born and brought up in the UK, still have the accent, spent my childhood there, first 12 years of my life, then moved to the Middle East to finish high school, moved to India to attend university and half settle here because Dad and Mum wanted to do that. I didn't want to. Spent 6 years in the US. I was in Florida, Tampa Bay, studying for 2 master's degrees in business administration and finance. Back here in India for now. I was supposed to head to the UK not too long ago, but the pandemic put pay to that. I'm hoping to move back very soon. Still looking for some jobs and some availabilities. This isn't really so much of a sales pitch to anyone who might, find an opportunity for me. No, I'm happy to sort of come on these streams. I'm looking for myself, but yeah, things have just been crazy this past year or so. Last year, especially, they were horrible. And people like Danny, coming into my life have sort of given me something to be grateful for in many ways. So I'm really grateful to you for. I'm grateful to Twitter. I think I found you through Twitter and started watching you, and the rest is history. So I hope that answers your question. And I will come in, and everything you said about getting the 16-year-old who seems to be a special talent is perfect. This 16-year-old, you're talking about Endrick, aren't you, from Brazil?
Yep.
Right. So, yeah. So.
Also plays for Palmeiras. We're obviously meant to be allegedly talking of Palmeiras regarding Danilo. I'm just wondering, are we talking about the wrong player? Like, that's all. If we're obviously indeed in talks with Palmeiras, that's all.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm always a little bit wary about bringing in another person to sort of, fit the whole Project Youth spiel. And I do take your point that this guy Endrick is outstanding, as you say he is. I just don't know if getting a 16-year-old from South America would not necessarily be the way to go if you want to look for some really, really young talent, because the advantage of getting a 16-year-old from somewhere else in Europe is that that person in question wouldn't be too far away from the English league. You're talking about the Brazilian league, I can't for the life of me get the name right. But, that league is obviously a league where people value a great deal of style over substance in some respect. The defenders in question aren't really of the best, and you don't really find too much in terms of the physicality in South America.
Listen, there's Brazilians that have been breaking in all over the place, as you say, whether it's And I know these are seniors players now, as in like Thiago Silva's or Mark Winnos's. They are breaking into defence. They have got decent players all over the pitch, man. And then when you look at them on an attacking force, it's unbelievable. People like Martinelli might not go to the World Cup. Jesus, I don't think has got that much chance of going to the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Gabriel Magalouche. I don't know how brilliant they are defensively. I know they've got Mark Winnos. I know Thiago Silva's about, but I don't know if they've got two other better central defenders than Gabriel Magalouche.
I get that. And sort of going back to
players, though, they're meant to have. Listen, there's this young defender, Keiki. He plays for Sao Paulo, I think. There's Renan, who's been linked with a lot of obviously European teams such as Arsenal, Barcelona, Real Madrid, the usual. He's 19. He's a centre back. There's a guy playing Gabriel Veron. I think he's Argentinian, but playing in Brazil. It's confusing. Hey, I've been watching a lot of Brazilian people, Brazilian kids, and there's never seemed to be another explosion of this talent coming out. And yes, I think, well, we've got a Brazilian fucking director of football, mate. There's got to be a couple. Listen, we got Gabriel Martinelli from the 4th division in fucking Brazil. There's talent in Brazil, mate, all across fucking Brazil. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I do know exactly what you mean. It's like if you're born in Brazil, you almost learn to kick a football before you can crawl, if you will, and that's what sets them apart.
Hold on, Craig. Go on. Craig, pay attention. Craig's put his last 2 comments in. He's going to be ducking out. Tierney, most definitely. Sorry, 9 minutes, fantastic. He was my man in the match. And last comment tonight, Man United put a fridge up front with Ronaldo. Mate, they put a fridge, an arm, and a leg. If you're talking in money wise, it's what they do with him realistically now. Because when he does get Europa League games, for me anyway, I'm not saying I've really watched Man United in Europa League, but I'm saying he hasn't been really balling for me, and he does seem to be a £300,000 or £400,000 a week fucking liability. Like Messi, allegedly, I'd say that there's somewhere for Ronaldo, and it's probably the MLS. With no disrespect, with no disrespect to that, to that league, I'd say, listen, if you want to keep getting paid in football, piss off to MLS for a little while. As a Premier League striker or winger, you're 37, knocking on the door of 38, mate. Almost time to go. You and Lionel Messi have had unbelievable careers, but Messi, every time I see him for PSG as well, man, it's not even close to the player he used to be at Barcelona. I don't know, man. Both of them have got to go MLS. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but listen. Obviously, Messi being the player that he is, he's able to take the pace for a little bit longer. And listen, obviously, look, his best days, of course, are well behind him. And when he moved to PSG, he knew that he wasn't going to play for too long. It's probably just a means of keeping himself sharp and fit enough. He's still in the Champions League. He's getting enough minutes to make sure he's at his best for Argentina. And I think after this season, it could very well come to pass that if PSG fail to win the Champions League, he will say au revoir to that club and then consider a move to MLS.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if, honestly, Barcelona found a way to get him back on massively reduced rates, and he has one last final season at Barcelona, possibly next season.
I don't think that will happen because look, we just had some news today that Gerard Piqué will be retiring, and he's actually decided to retire immediately. I think he and Xavi had a bit of a falling out over the summer, and he hasn't really been contributing.
Wasn't he retiring from fucking football?
Yep, because he's made it clear that he doesn't want to play for any other club other than Barcelona, and if he's not able to get much of a role right now, it might be best to just cut his and the team's losses and just walk away with a final game at the new camp, and that's it. You can check it; it's all in the news. I think he's never been the same. He's never been the same since, obviously, his marital problems with Shakira. And now she's also in the dock for tax issues. It's all going haywire, if you will. So I don't believe that Messi will be brought back because I'm reminded of this poem: never look back, never surrender the future you've earned. Stick to the track, to your beaten track, and don't ever return to those bridges you've burned. So I think when it comes to Messi, his time with Barcelona is done and dusted. But bringing him back would not be the best thing to do. United have learnt the hard way that bringing back Ronaldo for a couple of seasons of glory wouldn't really be the best thing to do. And I'm just glad that Ronaldo and Ten Hag resolved their issues in time for Ronaldo to come back into the team. But this will definitely be Ronaldo's final full season. I see him going back to Sporting Lisbon or maybe join the MLS. I don't know if necessarily that maybe, given the high-profile career he's had, he might want to go into that goldfish bowl that is the USA. And as I told you on Twitter, he might want to perhaps one final hurrah by getting a few friendly internationals to make sure that he gets 200 caps, because Ramos isn't going to be in the Spanish squad. So Ronaldo could still. I've just calculated if he's able to play until the World Cup final, he could be on 198. But that also doesn't count if he plays any pre-tournament friendlies or any of that sort. So he could end up with 200 caps and then, call it quits from international football. Maybe a final season of club football, either at Sporting Lisbon or another smaller league, and that'll be it. He can't handle it anymore. And even Ibrahimovic, who shows off his ripped torso, he's also injured now. I don't think he's played a minute for AC Milan. Time catches up with everyone. I mean, you get into your 40s, you think you're Superman, you think you will never, you think you can go on for as long as you like, and Father Time taps you on your shoulders, says, "Sorry, son, not on my watch."
You're kind of done.
You can't escape.
Manny, I'm going to have to get out in a couple of minutes because time is actually now starting to press on me. I've got 1 or 2 things to sharply do at 10:30 at night over here anyway. I'm an Englishman who wants Argentina to win the World Cup. Because of Messi, I'm deep in the mud. Very interesting. I don't think you'll catch many English guys saying that. Oh, God. Manny Bristol bum. Hashtag ask Manny. UE, forever the Joker. I love you, UE, man. You're forever the Joker out here.
Yeah, I will probably have to send you a message on Twitter and tell you about that. First of all, I know this might be a little bit personal, but I'm a virgin, so I can't really answer that question.
Wow. Okay. Bombshells all night. Arsenal, top of the group in the Europa League. Manny, absolutely shouts out to you. It's been a pleasure as always. 2 hours.
As always.
Shouts out to UE, to Craig, to Cam, to Yumi, to Linda, to Gemma, to Hussein Juma, Hazard, Liakers. Who else have we had? We've definitely had Cam. We've had Craig. I think I've said all your names. UE, of course. UERB, shouts out to you. Guys, I'm not sure if I'll be back reaction because it is already 10:30. Do you know what I mean? I told you about this closing down the village. Like, they turn off the electricity and all sorts, seriously. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, shouts out to Rodney. Anyone that I missed, sorry, as you know, it's not personal. But I think I am going to call it an evening here, people. I'll be back tomorrow for my usual 10 p.m. live. As you know, there'll be no Europa League for football for a little while. So perhaps Manny will jump in and accompany me on a couple of League Cup games coming up. And I know we definitely want to talk Europa League draw, so we'll grab Hazard in, even though he probably doesn't know it yet. But Hazard can jump in with me and Manny and discuss the last 32? Last 32? Is it now? How many teams are left? I don't know. I don't care. Just, the Europa League draw going forward. Me, Hazard and Manny will have a look at that. And then potentially going forward, because I think you get the pathway of who then plays everyone else as soon as the draw's kind of made. But on that note, guys, if there's any last second, and I literally do mean last second comments, please get them in. Guys, please get the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. Remember, you are the people that made this channel, real ones that you all are. People like UE, people like Jay Phils jumping in very late. Jay Phils has gone bum. Respect to you, brother. I am going to get out. I've been streaming for over 2 hours and 40 minutes, but I've got to eat something and everything, as you do. But shouts out to you. Shouts out to Cam and Craig, all the real ones. But I am going to call it an evening there, people. Manny, any last minute final thoughts from you, Magic?
No. Well, there is one final thought. As I've said, look, based on the performance today, we are not going to go very far in the Europa League unless we make the right installments. And this season is going to be another big litmus test. I'm sick and tired of having to deal with all these Arteta ins on Twitter. And I'm sure that Craig, AFC, will agree with me, who still try to gas us up saying we're still top of the league, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do bits this season. Sunday against Chelsea will be the litmus test. It will be interesting to see how well we perform. But this season, it's Champions League or bust. No Champions League, out you go, Arteta. And without any investments, we will not be taken seriously. If we can't take ourselves seriously, we can't expect anyone else to take us seriously.
Well, as I say, bro, as a club, we shall see in January. In my opinion, the January window, even though we are not, and I do repeat, and I do get it, we invest sort of once a year. It's the summer. It's the way we do things. Right, wrong, whatever. But I do believe if we are in, again, mate, I can't stress anymore. If we was come World Cup and Boxing Day, right around a few days away from the January window, and we are still 2 points clear of Man City. We're basically fast forward a few weeks, man. Yeah, everyone's gone to the World Cup. If we are still 2 points clear, I believe this club has got to show some ambition to the fans, to everyone, to me, to you, to Jay Phils, to Craig, to Cam, to UE. and go out and grab at least a Mudrak. Do you know what I mean? One player of exceptionalness, and then I can tolerate a Danilo or your Secundo Torres. But if I'm hearing Facundo Torres and Danilo, £27.5 million spent, for me, without being negative, we are now just trying to go. We're trying to just cement fourth and done with. Threw another 30 million at it, and we don't like throwing money in January. So for me, that will be the kind of, we're going to lie down and try and go for fourth, if that makes any sense at all. Now, bring me one player of exceptional quality. Do you know what I mean? Two would be lovely. But if you was to bring me a Declan Rice or a Mudrak on the wing, or you know what I mean, and put in the groundwork for a couple of summer moves, whether it's a couple of threes, the Grimaldo, a Van Ndicka, a Wilfred Zaha, more competition on the wing. The more the fucking merrier for me. I don't give a fuck if the wage bill has to go up. Where Arsenal and Champions League, as you say, will not be easy. We're going to need a whole variety of players. We're not going to get through with the 11 players we've got right now and a couple of Nketiahs, Vieiras, or whatever knocking around on the bench. And it does make you miss Emil Smith-Rowe that furthermore. But literally,
Mate, listen, I mean, look, I know what you're saying about Mudrak, and you pretty much sold me on him. I'm not going to be like a lot of those people who say, oh, he's overrated, he doesn't have the skills. From what you told me about him, I mean, obviously, when I saw him play against Leipzig, he didn't really offer too much, but he certainly wasn't the
if
worst
I
player on
honestly
the
promise
pitch.
you, if you actually did go and look at the previous four games, and I know two of them were against Celtic, the previous 4 or 5 games, sorry, and two of them, with respect, are Celtic. He does murder it for me, mate. Do you know what I mean? He literally,
Yeah,
he
I
smacks
agree.
it the whole.
He also played against Real Madrid this round too, so I'm pretty
Yeah,
certain he covered himself
and
in
he has
glory.
turned up. He was their he was a massive threat actually in the Bernabeu, saying that, and he done them up over in Ukraine as well, in Donetsk, wherever they're playing in the second. I'm not sure where they're playing their football in the seconds, but
Of
anyway,
course, and
on that note, though,
he's a consistent player for the Ukrainian national team. I'm not going to say no to him, but yeah, listen, I'm not. But listen, I would actually prefer that if we have to make two or three signings, it should be in the positions where we do need strengthening. I would like to see another centre forward. I do not have faith in Eddie Nketiah at all. I would like to maybe possibly see another central defender come in because look, Gabriel, Rob Holding. William Saliba, three on the bench. Ben White is technically a central defender, but he's being shunted into the right back position.
so I
If you
say
want to keep
rather
doing
than
that,
centre defender, I actually say right back mate comes in, and a right back.
right back would be good. Right back would be good, definitely. If you don't want to
Then
play
Ben White
Cedric
kisses off
Suarez,
back to the
let
centre.
him leave.
That's
Yeah.
it. But Ben White kisses off back to the centre. Cedric can go. Cash in, get £50, whatever you like for Nathan Miles.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Just get them all out and gone and off the wage bill in the summer, and then concentrate on this. Say, I don't care if it sounds like Man City or Barcelona, but two players in every position of fucking quality, and then we can genuinely go forward as a Champions League club and a club looking to fight for the title every season, along with Liverpool. Sorry, well, Man City definitely. I'm sure Liverpool will be back, and as we all know, people are investing. Whether it's Chelsea, Man United, there'll always be a dog out there, and Newcastle are a new dog that's coming along. Do you know what I mean? But on that note, though, Manny, I am going to get out of here, guys. Please, again, I can't plead more with you to please hit the likes on the video, subscribe if you're new. You will catch Manny before February or the end of March when Europa League does kick back in. But for this moment, guys, I'm out the building. Please hit the likes on the video. Shout out to you all. I might be back for reaction, but there is a massive like. It's that's less than a 50% chance at the moment, I must admit. But I might be back with a quick 30-minute live reaction. Depending on how quick I can just tie up one or two things here, all right? So, guys, I'm out of the building. Please like the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. You're all legends in the comments. Please be hitting the like button.
One last question.
Yes.
How the fuck do you find the energy to stay up so late? I envy you. Seriously.
Do you know what? It's either I'm not gonna lie. It's either you have a really good sleep the next day, or do you know what I'm very guilty of? I'll be sort of staying up, getting up early. I'll do that 3-4 days in a row, and then no matter what day, doesn't matter what day it is, I could have things to do. But like there'll be one day a week where I just have it's called catch up. So if I've had like only 5 hours sleep every night consistently for 5-6 nights, I have one day where I have a full 12, 13 hour sleep to make sure everything balances itself back out. If that makes any fucking sense at all.
Yeah, well, here's my regimen: 4 or 5 hours every night. If that's not enough, a 1 or 2 hour kip in the afternoon if I feel drowsy. And on that note, I'm going to split. I need to sleep. So, Danny, brother, always a pleasure. I will see
Respect.
you next week, and
No problem.
You take care of yourself and that lovely family of yours, yeah?
No problem, man. We'll do always. Thanks so much, Manny. Pleasure having you as always. So,
Cheers,
guys,
fella.
yes, I've
Thank
been
you.
threatening it for 15 good minutes now. I am going to indeed take myself out of the building. The comments has gone kind of quiet. There's still 9 of us live, but pretty quiet. So, yeah, I might be back for the reaction. If I am, it will be 11:15 p.m. live. But I might skip that till tomorrow. Listen, Arsenal have won. We're top of the group. Absolutely, congratulations and wonderful on that. 2 hours 48 minutes. I'm going to give you 1 minute, guys, to get any more comments in this video. Manny's still with us, so we got 1 more minute. I'm going to sit back. I'm definitely going to catch up with what Fenerbahce done tonight in the Europa League. They could be potential opponents for us further down the line, or even from the next round. I want to be having a little look at Arda Güler. Definitely another young striker, bros. We've been talking about me running about Hendrik. There's also this little kid in Turkey, 17 years old. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? I think, yeah, we lack some proper youth, bros. I want to see youth coming on the pitch sometimes. I want to see some young, exciting talent. And if we haven't got enough good young talent in the team itself, if Flores, Patino, etc., Balogun ain't gonna blow, well then fuck it. We're gonna have to go and buy some young fucking exceptional talent in my eyes. But that is it, guys. It has been a fucking pleasure to have Manny alongside me tonight. I am out the building. So good evening to you all, people. Have a beautiful evening. You might catch me back for reaction. Good night, people. Out the building. Love as always. Please hit that subscribe button and do be subscribing if you is new. Good night, people.
Yeah.